Coming up, we'll be talking about bouncing back from week one. Of course, we'll hear from Coach Leiker in about 7 minutes or so, and our keys to the game just before kickoff. So I hope you'll stick around with us on our Red Raven countdown to kickoff. Matt, I want to start with something that I started with Coach Leiker on the Coaches Show, and it's going to be a theme that we talk about a couple times in the pregame. But Connor Oppo, and of course, you look at the numbers, you look at the stat sheet from week one. Maybe you're not very impressed. Maybe nothing stands out to you. But what we saw in Highland in terms of leadership, in terms of composure, in terms of poise, you tweak a couple things with this team in terms of running the ball effectively and not making silly penalties. He does feel like the kind of quarterback that can win you a lot of games, including tonight.
Well, he certainly has the arm talent to get the ball down the field. One of those rare cases where the deep accuracy is better than the short accuracy. But Oppo, the one mistake he made was the defender got the wide receiver jammed on the line of and then that forced him out of his route. Oppo threw where he should have been, which led to the interception. That was the lone mistake that Oppo made last week. You'd like to see that completion percentage get a little bit better, but other than that, I really did like what I saw to Connor Oppo week one.
I sure did as well. And, on the flip side with this Dodge City team, they're playing a two-quarterback system, Matt. They have two quarterbacks that they like in Bryce Conover and Trayvon Jefferson. Conover a little bit more of the natural quarterback. He had 17 attempts in week one, 8 completions, a touchdown and interception. But Trayvon Jefferson, a world-class athlete. He's going to get some run, too. Both guys are available tonight. It'll be interesting to see how they split it because in week one, it was nearly 50-50.
Well, you know the old adage, if you don't have
if you have more than one quarterback, you have no quarterbacks.
If you don't have one quarterback, you have no quarterbacks. But that changes a little bit when one brings a different threat to the offense. And when you've got a guy that can, make some plays happen with his feet, and then another guy that's the more traditional passer, it can really keep defenses off balance.
Absolutely. Red Ravens looking to get their first win of the season here in their home opener. Now, let's talk about bouncing back from that week one performance against the Highland Scotties. And the first thing that they need to do, Matt Jordan, this is no surprise to anyone that listened to any portion of week one, they need to limit turnovers. They need to play clean football tonight.
Well, we talked about at the end of that last game, it was, and I talked about it with Coach Leiker, you'll hear in the pregame coming up, but, 2 missed field goals, over 100 yards in penalties, a drop touchdown, a fumbled snap on your own side of the field that leads to a score, and all of the negative, and you were still with a chance to win it on first and goal, and you couldn't convert. So all the negative, and you still had a chance to beat the Highland team that took advantage of every mistake that Coffeyville made. So you got to think that if you play 50% more perfect, that you're going to have a good chance against the Dodge City team that is hungry, that got close to that taste of upset, just couldn't quite get there.
Absolutely. And another thing that's going to need to be on point tonight for the Red Ravens, of course, they need to have a short memory. This team has a lot of young players on it, a lot of players that are very talented, but a lot of guys that don't have a lot of college football experience, which is another thing Coach Leiker said throughout the week. So these freshmen are going to be tested here tonight. Tough loss in week one. You did not play at the level you wanted to play at. Now you need to have a short memory, bounce back, find a way to get in the win column.
Yeah, how do you battle the adversity of being a ranked team and being upset in week one? And now you have to battle that and come to play in week two. But I like what we saw week one is they never gave up. They battled that whole time because at one point, they're down double digits. They could have just folded and let Highland go away with it, but they kept it to a close game and had a chance to win it at the end.
Absolutely. And the final thing I wanted to hit on here tonight, and bouncing back, that's the theme here to start our pregame show, is the friendly confines, Matt. There is, a science to being the home team and playing in front of your fans, getting back to Coffeyville, being in front of, your friends and family, your peers. This is a big deal for this team to, respond from that week one performance. No better place to be playing than veterans tonight.
Yeah, it just feels good to be home. And I talked to Coach Leiker, again, something you'll hear coming up here in a bit, but just talking about how last week was just so weird because it was hot, practices were getting moved. This week was normal. They got to take care of some things that they should have done week one, and now they just get to be at home. They don't have to leave the night before. It's extra prep time. You feel better even when it's you're away at college, right? It's not your own bed,
right?
But in a way, it's still your own bed,
yeah.
you know. And so they got to feel better getting the chance to play it at the vet as opposed to being on the road.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Red Ravens Conquistadors, just about 20 minutes away from kickoff. It's our Red Raven pregame show. Big thanks to all of our sponsors for helping out. We'll, of course, shout them out throughout the course of the game. Still plenty more to go on our pregame show. Let's step away for 60 seconds. When we come back, Matt's conversation with Coach Leiker as we get ready for kickoff on US 98.
Listening to the Red Ravens pregame.
And be involved with student life events. Our school believes in our red and white traditions, providing you with a quality education and preparing you for the next journey in life. Once you experience our campus, you know you've made the right choice. Let us help you make our story your story and become Raven proud.
You're listening to the Red Ravens pregame show here on US 98 and the Red Ravens Sports Network. I'm Matt Jordan, and joining me now is the head coach of the Red Ravens, Coach Jeff Leiker. All right, Coach. Well, obviously not the start to a week one that you'd like to see, but sometimes you need a little bit of a wake-up call to kind of get yourselves going, and a loss in week one isn't great, but it also doesn't ruin the season.
I think everybody assumed, just because of where we got picked and how we've finished out a few years and the last couple of years where we've had success, and look at the pick of Highland, how we've done against them. They're an 8 seed. Now, the only thing I'll say about that, and I tried to warn the guys about it, is everybody's got a chance to be good when you start a season, but you just don't know what you're going to get until you get in the ball game. We can look at old film, but it doesn't mean that's what they're going to do this year. And so there were some things they did we hadn't really seen, and they executed it well. I still look at it, and I'm not making excuses, but we leave a touchdown, all that stuff we've talked about long enough now. Drop pass, a touchdown call back, 2 missed goals, a pick six if we just catch it and run. We're not talking about a loss, if you execute and finish what you started. So,
David Wiggins.
We have to eat it. We got to own up to it, and we can't take it back, so we got to live with it. And that's sometimes the hardest.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned a lot of the negative things that happen over 100 yards and penalties and just some undisciplined, mistakes that a team doesn't normally make. And then you take all that into account and go, well, we were still 4th and goal with a chance to win it. So at least you stayed in the game and didn't let all the mistakes let the game get away from you.
Yeah, really, 1st and goal.
Yeah.
And then just never even really take
missed PI that could have reset some things.
Good looks, in that period. So, we don't get to just go take a day off. I mean, Dodge is coming in. They're a much better ball club. They played Iowa Western and had chances to do the same thing that we talked about. But that's the defending national champion compared to a team that was trying to find their way after losing Coach Powers last year, the head coach, and elevating the D coordinator as the new head coach. Those guys did just a wonderful job of keeping the kids all tuned in and not shooting themselves in the foot. They hung on and got the job done, and that's a tribute to them and what they've done with their program in a short time. Is to, had some veterans back. That was the key piece. I know talking to Coach before the game, he felt better without going into all the freshmen last year. Now, we'll see how they can compare and how they fare with other people, as well as how we're going to respond, because you don't just get an easy one nowadays in this deal. You got to go earn everything you get.
I felt like Connor Oppo played well, especially kind of down the stretch when he put some drives together. Made the one mistake, but from the press box, it looked like maybe miscommunication by the wide receivers.
Well, he got jammed out. The backer shoved him outside, and he never got back on his track, and Connor threw it to the spot where he was thinking he'd be before he got jammed, I'm guessing. We had a fumbled snap. That can't happen. That led to a touchdown as well. Other than that, had 7, 4, 5, 6, 7 drop balls that, maybe they're not all in the chest. They're not always going to be right in the easiest place to catch them. Go make a tough catch and move the chains, especially if they hit you in the hands. You got to catch the football. So that's another piece that added to our frustration, is just not executing when we had a chance to move the chains and catch balls that were actually catchable. And but yeah, Connor's got to play. He's got to continue to play good football and throw it to our guys. Obviously, I mean, that one I think he threw before Marquise had ever gotten into that lane. He assumed he was going to be, and he got shoved out. That moved him off his path, and so. Those are, and none of those plays cost you a game. No one play cost you a game. It was just a accumulation of things that just all added up at the end. And, we didn't make the plays they did, and that's what we have to move on from.
So what things, outside of, reducing penalties and that, what things have you worked on this week, cutting down or improving upon to get ready for this Dodge game this weekend?
I've never really changed a whole bunch of stuff. We are who we are. We've got our set plays offensively and defensively. Yeah, we're playing with some other younger kids at times, or not as experienced maybe, but even then, the game is still 11 on 11. It's a 100-yard field. You got to stay tuned in till you can make plays when the opportunity comes. Even the silly penalties, we had some stuff that we can. You be quiet, don't speak. That you can't do that with officials, and you don't know who's going to call a game tight, who's going to not. But you're really asking for it if you think you're just going to say whatever comes out of your mouth and it's going to be okay. So those are things that are correctable, and hopefully we learn from that. It's just the unknown right now to me. You come off a game where you don't play as well as you thought you could have, and you don't know if you can beat anybody, because you haven't done it yet with this group. But they've been resilient. They've come back to work. I tell them don't point a finger at anybody but me if you got to point a finger. If that's the kind of guy you are, I'm going to find out about you pretty quick. If it's going to start pointing fingers at others and act like you had nothing to do. We all were a part of it. That's how we got to look at it. And, that's how we'll move forward.
So we spoke a lot about the what went wrong in week one. What did you see that you liked, that you hope to build on to get ready for Dodge as well?
Well, I think, pass protection, we did a pretty decent job of not getting the quarterback hit with all the blitzing and all the stunting they were doing. The run game was tough because they were coming from so many different places, trying to eyeball exactly who's ours, who's got to take this, who's got to take that. I want to eliminate turnovers. We had a couple, and if we can do that, that'll help us just punt the ball away. One special team, we didn't have 11 on the field. I mean, just the little mental things. If you can lock in and know what you're doing, if you're on a certain special team, I shouldn't have to be yelling for you to be the last man out there, and you didn't even know you were on it. You weren't paying attention. Just things like that. I haven't really dealt with that too very often, but again, brand new bunch, and you never know until they get out there what exactly is going to happen. You want them to be on alert and know what we're doing, but hopefully that opened up some eyes and we don't have those issues going forward.
So how do you look at matching up with this this Dodge team coming up, and based upon what they did week 1 against, like we said, a very good Iowa Western team?
Well, Dodge had some chances to beat them. I mean, they dropped a couple balls just like we talked about with us. Iowa Western ran the football up and down the field 50-some times and still couldn't put them away, I guess is probably the best thing to say about that. And Dodge's second-year coach and their staff has improved their personnel, I think. Their front four's pretty talented looking at them. And, and last year, as we watched a year ago, we kind of could do what we wanted to do against them in that game. I don't know if we could do that this year. I think they're just a little bit better talented than they were maybe when they first got there last year and had to inherit whatever was already there. But so, again, we got to go out and execute. We got to block the right people. We got to take care of the ball. If we don't, punt it to the other team, make them make a mistake along the way. That's kind of how we've played good football, is not giving games away. But last week was the first time we have. And it doesn't feel good, obviously. You do this long enough, you may have moments like that. That's what I kind of have to tell myself sometimes, in order to keep going, without just dwelling on something. But so we're expecting our kids to play better, and you got to go block and tackle and do all the things it takes. But both sides, they are doing the same thing. They feel pretty good about what they got done. Even when they came up short, they played the number 1 team in the country and had a chance to win. Shoot, you got something to build on there for that group. So, and we're playing a team that was picked a little farther back and got upset. So it's kind of a tale of two different teams. Let's see which one responds.
Looking at your game plan, last game against Highland, 31 times Oppo threw the football, and I said in the post game after the game that I felt like that was a little high for what you kind of generally like style wise. Was that just a product of the game, or are you wanting to maybe throw a little bit more this year despite still having a good group of running backs?
I don't go into a game saying we're only going to run it 10 times or going to throw it 20 times. A lot depends on what the other team is doing. Now, I'm not opposed to running the football to a stacked box. Did that for a lot of years and came out of it a few times in good shape because the last man defending didn't fit right. So, but for the most part, if we can get a running game going and that opens up the passing game and then allows our defense to play too, because we'll stay out there a little while longer in the running game by running clock and giving our defense a chance to rest. That's what my recipe normally would be. So, yeah, that wasn't ideal last week for him throwing 31 times. But hopefully we go out and execute better, and so we get more choices on what we want to do, not what we have to do, in order to move the chains. And again, when you drop balls, that takes away first down opportunities. When you miss field goals, it takes away points. When you have a touchdown called back, you're not ahead. We would have gotten ahead, and we might have been able to build on some of that. But then we were behind, and then got behind again, and all of a sudden it makes you have to throw a little bit more when the time comes to try to catch up and get a big play. And we had the big play, and we didn't hang on to it, So we did the things we thought we needed to do to try to hang in there and maybe even pull one out. But if you don't execute down the stretch, it's not going to happen either. So we'll hopefully get better at that.
Any specific players that stood out week 1 that you like what you saw from them, whether you thought you were going to see it or maybe some guys that surprised you?
I thought O'Mary Wiggins had a nice game. He actually came out of the pile and had that longer run. He's a versatile kid that I think has got a bright future for us, as well as the 4-year when he's done. He's a good kid. Defensively, I thought we had a variety of guys that stepped up and made plays. Devon Irving is a linebacker that played well. I thought he was our defensive player of the game. O'Mary was our offensive player of the game. Cedric and Langston came in and provided us interception, they gave us the ball back and gave us a chance to try to go put another drive together late in the game. And he didn't play a ton, but when he got in there, he made the most of it and found a way to kind of get underneath a receiver and secured the ball and caught it. So I thought that was good on his part. As a whole, it's hard to just go, boy, he did.
Yeah.
It takes everybody, to really put it all together in the sport of football to make a play happen.
A couple of guys that stuck out to me, Griffin Lampton, that's who we ended up naming our player of the game. And then Ransom, the wide receiver, dropped a couple balls early, but then became kind of that safety blanket for Oppo, who started finding him a lot kind of down the stretch. So those are two guys that kind of, outside the ones you mentioned, stuck out to me.
Yeah, I mean, Rich, he's a big target. He needs to catch everything that comes to him. That's all I'll tell him. You would think, if it's in your hands or somewhere above the ground, if you're going to be that guy, catch everything, Griff, same thing. I thought he did some good things. He got a penalty because he had to ask the officials about holding, and I'm sure some other word came out. Those are things that hurt us, though. 15-yarders unforced, and dropping balls. We obviously don't catch it, so it's a forced error on our part, not taking care of a damn opportunity to get a first down. Then we get the touchdown, and we don't line up right. I mean, it's too many little damn things that just cause you headaches, trying to put the whole piece together. So we got enough to work on, hopefully going into game 2, that we show some good signs and we execute and try to get the ball in the end zone. 14 points not going to win you many football games in college, and honestly. As good as our defense has been in the past, that's asking them to do an awful lot. And we'll see.
Last thing I kind of want to mention was a couple hometown kids, hometown close enough, in Breck Long, who from Caney played at Caney and Sedan, and then Baylor Nash from South Coffeyville saw a lot of snaps, which is going to be cool to see for those families that can kind of come here. Guys that played with them in high school, come and see them get good snaps at this level. This playing in this area.
I'm looking forward to them making plays. We've got enough stuff. Those guys are going to get some balls thrown at them.
2 8-man guys. I mean,
yeah. And then another young man we got over here from Independence is Remington Easley. Now, he was a redshirt last year, but he put on some good weight to become a tight end, and he's dealing with a knee injury, but he's still a factor for us, trying to get involved. And he just, we're asking him to do a little bit more than what he's probably capable of playing a hybrid. He needs to be an end man on the line and, not a backfield guy, just so he can be as fast as he can be. But so there's three guys right there that you could count and got some minutes, and none of them have ever played a college game. And so hopefully they'll get better and better as we go forward.
Breck had a big catch on a third down that was crucial, so I think it's just cool to see.
Yeah, it is. It's what it's supposed to be, We're supposed to have opportunity to play some kids in the area that can go on and have a story. That's what we want anyway.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck against Dodge City. Hoping for a better outcome, and looking forward to first home game. You got that long road trip out of the way, week 1, and now you get to come back home and have the home opener.
We've had a decent week of normal practices, not going until 10:30, 11 at night.
Not as hot.
Didn't get everything put together before we left Friday. We didn't even know how to really line up on our pregame very well because we never got a chance to really plug that in. Usually we wait until that week to do it, and we were still catching up on some of the other things. So hopefully we can get that ironed out so we look a little bit more put together as we enter the field when the kickoff starts.
All right, good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks again to Coach Liker. We'll take a 2-minute break. When we come back, we'll get you set for kickoff here on US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
This is Community State Bank at work. This is Community State Bank at work. This is Community State Bank at work in our community. From kids' activities to school programs to funding home and business loans, every day Community State Bank is at work in our neighborhood. Whether you bank at Community State Bank or not, they're working for you every day. Community State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I'm Mike Avey, and at Community State Bank, we believe in Coffeyville.
If you could use a little help around the house, Windsor Place At-Home Care is the perfect solution for you. Their caregivers are prepared to help you with laundry, meals, housekeeping, shopping, and more. These helpful services are so reasonably priced, you can afford to pay for them yourself. In many cases, long-term care insurance or others.
Show. Shay Neal, Matt Jordan here with you. We're just a couple minutes away from kickoff, and let's get into our Week 2 keys of the game for the Coffeyville Community College Red Ravens. Our first key of the game, Matt, score first. This Red Ravens team had a chance to score first in Week 1, missed the field goal. I think for some momentum tonight to shake off that Week 1 performance, you got to get the first points tonight.
Yeah, start with a statement on offense early in this game and fire up the team with that.
Absolutely. Establish the run. The Ravens got going in the second half on the ground. Great games by Ozarion Smith as well as Amiri Wiggins. They're going to need to get going early in this one to help take off some of the pressure from Connor Oppo.
Well, that's what Coach Leicher wants to do. That is his bread and butter, is running the football, and he's got the backs to do it.
Number 3, win at the line of scrimmage. A very experienced offensive line for Dodge City, full of a lot of sophomores as well as some of the receivers and running backs. This is an experienced Dodge City offense. Ravens are going to need to generate pressure on the quarterback as well as be able to win at the line of scrimmage on offense and create those running lanes.
Yeah, it's always a battle in the trenches. That's what a lot of people talk about. And honestly, the offensive line was the strongest point of last week's game. Got to be a little bit better to give Oppo a little bit more time to throw the football. But other than that, I like what I saw from both trenches, offensive and defense for Coffeyville.
I agree. Defensive line was excellent in Week 1. We'll see if they can continue it in Week number 2. And finally, ride the home wave. We kind of hinted at it earlier, Matt. You're back at home in front of your fans. It's a new week. It's a new day. Hit the reset button. Week 1 is in the past. Week 1 is in the rearview mirror. Come back out tonight in front of your friends and family. Play a good game of football and see what happens.
Yeah, and let the crowd be an advantage to you. And hopefully they can rain down a cacophony of noise onto Dodge City and kind of disrupt some things and allow the 12th man to work for Coffeyville tonight.
No doubt about it. Red Ravens Conquistadors Week 2 of the KJCCC 2023 football season. Dodge City came close to upsetting Iowa Western a week ago. Coffeyville upset by the Highland Scotties. Both teams looking for their first win of the year tonight in 2023. Kickoff is in 30 seconds on US 98. Running lanes.
Yeah, it's always about...
Red Ravens Conquistadors, it will be Coffeyville football first, and back to take the kickoff. Matt Jordan is a guy I was very impressed with in Week 1 and a guy I have highlighted on my roster sheet. Martavian Johnson, who ended up with a grand total of 52 return yards in Week 1. I thought he was electric when he got the ball.
Yeah, definitely kind of showing what he can do in the open field as a corner, and looked good. And that's a good way to start a game with a big return. We'll see what happens here. But we talked about it, scoring first, great opportunity here to do so.
Absolutely. Ravens will get the football first. Here we go. Week 2 of the college football season. The home opener for the Coffeyville Community College Red Ravens. Dodge City awaits the official signal from our officials tonight. There's the whistle. And at 7 o'clock on the dot, we are ready to roll. Dodge City lines up. Kicker takes his steps forward. We are underway at the vet. This is Martavian Johnson. Johnson takes it at the 8-yard line, works his way across the 15 up to the 20, where he's tripped up at about the 25-yard line. Pretty solid return, but pretty solid coverage as well for Dodge City. And here comes Connor Oppo in the Red Raven offense.
Yeah, essentially a touchback there on the return, just a slight yard better. And we'll see. Do you think Coffeyville comes out first with the run, or do you think they try to open things up with the pass to start things?
I think they're going to try to establish themselves on the ground, Matt. I really do. I think we're going to see a lot of Amiri Wiggins and Ozarian Smith. Smith got the start in week 1, but obviously Jeff Leiker has a lot of backs he likes. But already interesting to see first play from scrimmage. It's Wiggins in the backfield tonight.
Who had the best game last week?
That big 57-yard touchdown, and looked like maybe a little bit of pre-snap movement, but no call. Wiggins gets the handoff right, gets about 2.5 yards there on first down. It looked like maybe they didn't call it because I think simultaneously there was a false start and an offside. So, maybe it's just net gain neutral.
But yeah, it certainly looked like Dodge City thought Coffeyville jumped off sides, but no whistles blown, no flags thrown, and that means we play the down.
And this Dodge defense is very interesting, Matt. Some guys we're going to have to keep an eye on. Great linebackers with Dwight Nunu and Jaden Kelly, each having 9 and 7 tackles last week respectively. And then their best edge rusher, as here's the second down handoff up the middle. Wiggins bounces off a couple tackles. Wiggins still going across the 35, and a hard run by the freshman Amiri Wiggins.
Good running by Wiggins to pick up the first down. We saw that last week. Bounced off a couple of tackles, got to the outside, took it to the house.
Absolutely.
For the biggest play of last week for Coffeyville, and did a good job picking up the first down there.
And we said it. Jeff Leiker likes his bowling balls, and he's got one in Amiri Wiggins. But to finish my thought, the edge rusher, Sonny Samatu, 8 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, and a fumble recovery in week 1. He is a game wrecker, Matt.
Yeah, that's the kind of guy you want to have on defense, causing havoc all over the place to the quarterback.
And he got blocked on that one. Deep shot down the field and through the hands. Oppo put a dime up there, and unable to control it there for the Ravens was number 80. And that is a guy that we don't have on our roster. That's a jersey change there, Matt Jordan.
Well, 80 up for me is Joseph Young.
There we go.
Young, a guy that played. I'm surprised to see that from him. Young played last season, had a lot of big plays just like that because he is very fast wide receiver and can get behind the defense. He had the big touchdown right before the half against Iowa Central last year. So a surprise drop from him, but he was hurt last week.
Second down and 10, Oppo in the pistol. Ravens at their own 37-yard line. Oppo hands it off up the middle. Wiggins not much there this time. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. And, Matt, that was me making a week 1 mistake in week 2. I was looking at last week's roster. So that's my fault.
That'll do it to you.
My fault, yep. My fault. So it'll be third down and long for the Ravens after a missed opportunity on a deep pass. And then for the first time tonight, the Dodge City front 7 able to contain Amiri Wiggins.
It brings up a crucial third down on the first drive for Coffeyville. Let's see what this offense draws up with a 4 wide receiver set here.
This Dodge team has a lot of experience, Matt. It feels like the longer you let them hang around, the more dangerous they get.
And we saw, they got real close to upsetting the defending champs, number 1 team last week.
Oppo in the shotgun, running back to his right. 3rd and 10. He's back to throw, looking deep down the field, and overshot the wide receiver Crenshaw, who did have a step. And so on that one, 2 deep passes for the Ravens. 1 through the hands of the receiver, and 1 just a little overthrown by Connor Oppo.
Yeah, I like at least what I'm seeing from the receivers being open. 1, you got to come away with the catch, and Oppo, I don't know if maybe misthought where the receiver was going to be, but just really sailed it over his head.
12:43 to go, first quarter. Ravens will punt. They got a first down early on a great run by Wiggins, but drive stalls, and they will boot it away. Dodge City will get the football for the first time as the punt takes a Red Raven bounce inside the 30. It's picked up, and he's chased out of bounds at the 34-yard line. That was the wide receiver Cameron Thomas, the sophomore.
Kind of an ugly punt that takes a favorable bounce before a short return, but now the defense got to step up here. And just because the offense is off the field, Shay, doesn't mean that Coffeyville still can't score first. The defenses of the last 2 years were very hungry and scored a lot of points off turnovers.
Well, and Matt, a 2-quarterback system for Dodge City last weekend. We're going to see Trayvon Jefferson, the freshman, to start this one, the athletic one out of the 2. Of course, they're both college athletes. They're both athletic. But the more mobile quarterback, but a guy that is in the backfield a lot that we're going to have to keep an eye on. Jalen Smith, 7 carries, 107 yards in week 1, including an 88-yard touchdown. They line up in the pistol on first down, and Jefferson takes the snap. It's low. It's down on the ground. And he's able to fall on it. A.J. Vaughn's the one back there for Coffeyville, and nearly a turnover on the first play of the day for the Red Raven defense.
Yeah, dangerous start to this one as Coffeyville only forced one turnover last week. They did lose the turnover battle and just about had one early in this one, but it puts Dodge in some unfavorable territory with the 2nd and long.
Jefferson, the mobile guy. They also will use Bryce Conover, who's more of the pocket passer on this team. We will see both of them tonight. Jefferson back to throw, looking to the sideline. It's caught by Thomas, but not a whole lot there, maybe a gain of 2. Great pursuit and great defense there by the Ravens. That was Adrian Patterson.
Yeah, it's a good tackling team. They did a good job of that last week. Didn't really let anything break free. The problem was they let a couple things get behind them. And on this 3rd and long, you got to keep everything in front of you and just get the ball back and force a 3 and out.
Dodge City playing a little up-tempo, but now we'll slow it down just a hair. 3rd down and 15 from their own 30-yard line. Jefferson has been the quarterback for the first 3 plays of the night for Dodge. Trayvon Jefferson gets the snap, and they will hand it off. And the ball came out again, and Dodge jumps on it again. 3 plays and 2 fumbles for the Conquistadors.
That's a tough start. Somebody greased the football, it seems like, for Dodge City.
Maybe for both teams, because now the drop's making a little more sense.
Coffeyville isn't able to come away with the ball either time, but it does force a 3 and out, and they will have to punt. It kind of looked like they were waving the white flag a little bit. Anyway, on 3rd long, just going to run the football, but it just about got real dangerous.
Well, and Matt, while they punted away here, and back to take it is Crenshaw. And it's not a great kick. Crenshaw coming in. He'll take it right about midfield. I think they'll mark it about the 49-yard line. But Patterson made that tackle on the 2nd down play, and that got me thinking about the trio of Jabari Tiller, Cameron Pearson, and Adrian Patterson. 3 sophomores, a very experienced secondary. They all had 4 tackles in week 1, which speaks on how good of players they are, but it also speaks on how good of a day Highlands receivers had. You don't want your corners to have 4 tackles a game.
Yeah, and you talk about the group of corners, the trio of wide receivers that Thailand had, that all 3 made impacts and had good games. Yeah, you'd rather see low tackle numbers for your corners.
So Red Ravens and Dodge City both punt the ball on their first possession of the night. Oppo's fighting and might have gotten his way back to the line of scrimmage, but not much there for the Ravens.
Busted play. Oppo went to the left for the handoff, and the back was on the right side. And so when there's no one there to give it to, you kind of just have to make something happen. The fact that he got back to the line of scrimmage is a lot better than losing some yards.
And that's, again, that we talked about in the pregame show, Matt, that composure of Connor Oppo. He does not play like a freshman. He's a guy that does not, so far through a game and 2 drives, doesn't seem like he lets a lot get to him.
Well, on the team last year, didn't get a lot of playing time, and then also coming from Hawaii, so there's some experience there.
Breck Long in motion and a flag, and it looks like we have a Raven that jumped early.
Full start. Offense, number 70.
And that'll be on Chris Williams, the lone returning starter on the offensive line, the sophomore out of Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, you don't want to see your veteran guys, and so that's back-to-back mistakes. You got the blown play on trying to hand it off to the wrong side, or the back went to the wrong side, and now you get a 5-yard false start, and you go from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 15.
Through the first 5 minutes of this game, it seems like these 2 teams are trying to out-oops each other.
Yeah.
2nd down and 15 for the Ravens from their own 45. It is Oppo in the shotgun, Breck Long to his left. Oppo back to throw, looking into the flat to Long. And not much there. Might have gotten a yard, but read well by the Dodge City defense.
Yeah. Trying to find Long in the flat to see if he can make something happen, and he can't.
And I really enjoy what the Ravens bring to the table in terms of their tight ends. They have Jaden Dozier, who's more of a receiving tight end, 6'5", 220. And then you have Long, who's more of the can do it all. He can block, he can catch, 6'4", 245. They got 2 really nice weapons at that tight end position.
Well, Breck Long was an 8-man high school quarterback, and then was a 2A safety when he was at Caney, so tough kid.
3rd down and long for the Ravens. Oppo back to throw, stepping, looking over the middle, and it's caught. And that is going to be Speed Johnson with the catch to move the chains for the Ravens.
That's a bad spot.
Yeah, and they do spot it short. It looked like he got across the 40, Matt.
I thought he got to the 40. I don't like that spot.
I don't think Jeff Liker likes that spot either.
He caught it at the 40.
Catch was made by.
Watch the replay here, and I can't. Yeah, he was at the 40 when he made that catch.
That should, at the very least, that should be 4th and inches. And we'll see if they get that checked on.
We do, and something I forget about. We didn't see it a whole lot last year, but JUCO added the review process to games last season.
Well, and I think you got to think this will benefit Coffeyville. Yeah. I mean, this seems like it's a full yard and a half off in terms of the spot.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad spot.
But after, he had a play where he was open down the middle and Oppo couldn't find him last week. But that's one of maybe the biggest play of the year so far for the freshman. Very talented freshman out of Memphis, Marquarius Johnson, also known as Speed.
Yeah, and we see it. We saw him in the open field last week. And when he makes the first move on a corner, if the corner guesses wrong, he's going to get by you. I'm ready to see him in the open field at some point just to see how fast he is.
Well, Matt, he still owes me 2 touchdowns.
He does.
I met him on move-in day, and I told him if he could get 2 touchdowns against Highland, I would give him a shout-out on the radio. Now, that didn't happen, but I'm willing to extend that offer. If he can get 2 touchdowns tonight, he may still get that shout-out.
Yeah, I can't tell. We got the screen in front of us here to kind of see the replay. I can't tell from that one angle, but it does look like he did get to the 40-yard line.
The only thing that I can think of that would change that is if they think he voluntarily ran backwards, but I don't see that on the replay.
Yeah, I don't either. Maybe if we can get a shot from the up tall camera.
And while we're looking at this replay, of course, seeing where Speed Johnson went down, great pocket presence by Oppo.
Yeah.
Stepped up in front of the rush. I mean, again,
he's past his feet are past the 40, which means
this should be a first down.
That he should be past. The ball should at least be at the 40.
This should be 4th and inches, but in reality, it should be a first down.
I think it's a first down.
The runner got to the 39-yard line.
And they're going to say that.
First down, Coffeyville.
Johnson marked down at the 39-yard line. First down, Red Ravens.
So we're 1-1 on the year. We didn't have any challenges last week. Challenged this one, 1-1, and we both knew it.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? I'll take that. 100% success rate on challenges this year.
Yeah.
Coach Liker, we'll take it 100% wherever it comes.
But that's bad on the officials. I mean, you got to think about it. That's 3 yards off.
That's pretty.
I don't know how you missed that.
But a great catch by Speed Johnson. First down, Ravens at the Dodge 39, looking for that first score of the year at home. Johnson in motion to the right. He's got Azarian Smith behind him to his right. Here's the snap to Oppo. Oppo rolls right. Oppo looking to the sideline. The throw was high. I believe Ransom ended up pulling it in. Excuse me, that was 88. That's Bryce Bonner. And they're going to say he caught it. So he dragged a foot. That pass was high. A nice catch by Bonner, listed as 6'1", but on that play he looked like he was 6'4", Matt.
Yeah, good go up, get the 1 foot. Now they're going to say.
Now they're going to say incomplete.
He didn't get it.
I would have been.
I was going to say
if
it
he
was
pulled
impressive.
down.
I mean, you only have to get 1 in college, but they're going to come back and say he did not make the catch.
So now 3 wide receivers and a tight end for Oppo here on second down. Long in motion. Snap, and this will be a handoff left, and Smith going nowhere. Flag on the far side of the field, but as of now, it's a great play by Jaden Kelly, who was one of the top defenders for the Conquistadors in Week 1. He ended up with 7 tackles in that Week 1 game against Iowa Western. He jumped that play, but it's an offsides call.
Yeah.
And that's a mistake on Dodge.
There's a reason he was so quick into the backfield. It's because he
was illegally lined up.
He was lined up offsides.
Yeah. That'll do it. You know what they say, Matt Jordan? Even you and I could get into the backfield if we lined up offsides.
Yeah, when we're too far in front, we get a little head start. Yeah, that'll do it.
8:20 to go, first quarter, no score. Red Ravens on the move thanks to a nice third down conversion to Speed Johnson. Oppo in the gun, hands it off to Azarian Smith. Smith gets a lane. Smith up the gut with a big burst, and he's down inside the 20-yard line. And this Red Raven running game now already with their second big rush of the first quarter. And it's Azario, excuse me. My bad. It's week 2. We're learning.
Hey, you
will
didn't
get
have
there.
to correct yourself. I did it Trying to be discreet.
We'll get there. Now, I deserve to be called out. Azario Smith. But now one big run for Wiggins, one big run for Azario Smith. Ravens in the red zone for the first time today. Oppo in the gun. Breck long to his left. Oppo hands it off to Smith again. Smith breaks a tackle and fighting his way down to about the 11-yard line. And another 10-yard pop there for Azario Smith.
Yeah, the running game really starting to find its rhythm here in this one. And when you've got a number of guys and you can keep fresh legs while the defense can't, it really is a weapon. And so far, keys to the game look good for you. If they score here,
establish the running game.
Establish the run.
And they're winning at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, there you go. Keys to the game looking pretty good.
How about that? The strength of this Dodge defense is their front seven, and so far the Raven offensive line has been up to the challenge. Second down and 1, from the 11. Handoff again, and fighting his way inside the 10 is Smith. It'll be 1st and goal at about the 8-yard line for the Red Ravens. And unfortunately, I hate that I have to bring this up, Matt, but the last time it was 1st and goal at the 8 for the Ravens. It did not end well.
No, it did not. It ended up being 4th and 8, 4th and goal from the 8, and a pass was thrown in the dirt, and that was the end of the game.
That's how Highland won the game, yep. So we'll see if they can get that final 8 yards here on this one.
Maybe what you just did was the reverse jinx.
I hope.
I
hope. Sometimes, if I'm in a rut a little bit, I'll say that the other team's best player is a great free throw shooter, and then they'll clank one, and then it's like, I felt like I contributed a little bit.
It's like when you bring up that the other team field goal kicker hasn't missed anything.
Exactly. In motion is Young. Oppo back to throw. Wheel route was covered nicely. That's what they were looking for, and Oppo will throw to the corner. Did he get a foot down? He did not.
Great effort, but just could not get a foot down.
Great play by Oppo to extend that play. It felt like Matt Jordan, when that play started, that nothing was going to come available, and Connor Oppo bought himself about 6 seconds with a really talented defensive line chasing him down.
Yeah, Oppo being athletic is important. He has the legs to get out and give himself some extra time and try to find someone. And when you have guys like Joseph Young and Speed Johnson and then big guys like Ransom, someone's going to get open at some point.
2nd down and goal from the 9-yard line for the Ravens. Oppo in the pistol. He's got Wiggins behind him. And try to hand it off to Wiggins, and Wiggins is blown up, and that time it is the Conquistadors that win at the line of scrimmage, and it's big number 99, Jalen Williams. Matt Jordan, he is a 4'6", 315.
Yeah, big old number 99. When you're that big, you got someone that big coming right at you.
I'd recommend maybe double team.
Yeah.
3rd down and goal now from the 14 coming up for Coffeyville, and we'll see if they can keep big number 99 out of the backfield on this play.
Yeah, no kidding.
6'6", 315. What are they feeding you down in Shreveport, Louisiana?
Cajun food.
A lot of Cajun food. A lot of Cajun food.
Yeah.
Connor Oppo in the shotgun. Wiggins to his right. Oppo back to throw. Oppo looking to the corner. It's there. Speed Johnson. Contact. No flag. Incomplete.
So interesting opportunity here for Coffeyville. The kicking game did not look good last week. 0 for 2 from field goals. They got a chance to right the ship with a field goal here.
And it is Connor Gallender. So looking at that replay, Matt, it looks like they're saying that there was contact on both sides, which I guess you could say. Or maybe they're saying uncatchable. But
speed moved it.
Snap down, hold is there, and the kick is good. Ravens on the board, 3-0 our score. Coffeyville strikes first. Let's step away for 30 seconds. We'll be right back on US 98. Cajun food. A lot of Cajun food.
Yeah.
Connor Oppo in the shotgun. Wiggins to his right. Oppo back to throw. Oppo looking to the corner. from the Red Raven Sports Network. Ravens looking for their first win of the season after a tough Week 1 loss to the Highland Scotties. Dodge City nearly pulled off a massive upset against the defending national champions. They're looking for their first win as well. This is one of the most intriguing 0-1 matchups you could have.
Yeah, absolutely. One team that didn't think they should have been 0-1, another team that almost had a chance to be 1-0 despite not being picked to win that one, and kind of two different teams coming off two different scenarios, but yeah, an exciting 0-1 matchup. But to be honest, any matchup in any given week in the Jayhawk is going to be exciting.
No doubt about it. Matt, so now this is the second straight drive they've sent out Trayvon Jefferson as the quarterback for Dodge City. Way too early in this one to maybe to say this definitively, but do you think Dodge City's picked a starting quarterback?
I don't. We'll see.
Or maybe they're just giving him a couple drives.
Yeah, you couldn't really judge anything off the last drive.
Couple fumbles.
Fumbles, loss of yards, and now he's going to start in the minus because of a delay of game.
Yeah,
so not
I'll
good.
tell you
it's
what,
just not a good start
for an all-sophomore offensive line. A fumbled snap or a bad snap and now a false start penalty. They're playing very tight and very undisciplined so far. Handoff there and getting back to about the line of scrimmage. No gain. This Red Raven defense, much like they did last week against Highland when they weren't committing silly penalties, they look really good, especially stopping the run.
Yeah, that was a big unkindness of Ravens right in there to make the stop. The whole defense kind of crowded in there and made the stop.
Second down and 15 from the 20-yard line for Dodge City. It's 3-0 Coffeyville. Red Ravens looking for win number 1 of 2023, looking to keep their postseason hopes alive. Throw over the middle, broken up, and a chance for it. That was Tiller diving in on it at the last second, but I think they're going to say he trapped it.
I thought he made the catch, but they're going to say it hit the ground first.
And, Matt, as we said last week on our drive to Highland, the player that wears number 1 for Jeff Liker's defense, usually a big impact player. We saw it with Bishop Fitzgerald. That was almost a big impact play by Jabari Tiller.
Yeah, and, he feels – I'm sure he feels like he has to play better this week because of some of the mistakes he made last week.
So third down and 15, Ravens with a chance to get another 3 and out and really put the pressure on Dodge's defense, who's been out there a lot in this first quarter. Trayvon Jefferson looking to show off the athleticism that has made him exciting for Dodge City. Snap. Lampton trying to send pressure. The pass is caught, but it's going to be a stop by the Red Ravens secondary. Again, it's Patterson on that far side. Gain of 6, the 4th down and long for the Ravens, and another tackle by Adrian Patterson.
That's the first time that Dodge City has gotten past the line of scrimmage tonight because of the penalties and fumbles on the last drive. And I
think we could end up talking about this later on in this game, Matt. We're 11 minutes into this one, and the Dodge City offense has run 6 plays.
Yeah.
The Dodge City defense has been out there a lot in this first quarter, and if Dodge City can't get it going on offense, that defense is going to get gassed by the second half.
It'd be interesting to see time of possession after the first quarter, because I feel like Coffeyville's definitely controlled the first quarter, especially with the way they've been able to get their run game going. Punting was an issue for Dodge City last week.
Yeah.
So far, I will say, both punts have looked good.
Absolutely. They also missed an extra point last week. It was quietly a rough day for the special teams for Dodge.
Yeah. We can relate.
Yeah, I know. We hope you'll join us for the Red Raven halftime show presented by Community State Bank. We'll be joined by Red Raven volleyball coach Dearden Kelly. That team about to have 9 of 10 matches at home, so I'm excited to catch up with Dearden. But Oppo in the shotgun on first down, 3:54 to go in the first quarter. And a handoff. Trey Jones gets the handoff for the first time today, and he's across midfield. First down gain of about 7 yards.
A lot of backs on this team that Coach Liker trusts.
And that is
the third one there.
That is such a weapon. That is something that, Matt, NFL season starts this week, so I'm going to make an NFL comparison. It reminds me a lot of the San Francisco 49ers. 4 or 5 running backs that get handoffs over the course of a game, over the course of a season. It keeps guys fresh over the course of a marathon.
Well, the Eagles as well. I mean, Ken Gainwell, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott all saw action last year.
Second down and 4 after a gain of 6 for Trey Jones. Oppo in the gun once again. Jones to his left, and it will fake it this time. Oppo's going to keep it on a read option. Oppo trying to get to the sideline. And he will duck out of bounds, a gain of 2. With about 4 conquistador defenders in the area and not 1 blocker, I think it was probably a smart play by Oppo to not worry about taking a hit.
Yeah, dance a little bit too much to the outside. I'd like to see him maybe cut it upfield and try to pick up the first down. But I also don't blame him for seeing the safety of the sideline and heading out there.
Yeah. 3rd down and 2. Ravens just across midfield again. They've had the ball a lot in this first quarter. Raven defense has created opportunities for the Raven offense.
And it's still warm. I mean, we're definitely still feeling summer temperatures, and that's going to wear out a defense quick.
We're sitting in the high 80s right now. Oppo hands it off to Jones. Jones fighting his way forward, shuffling the feet, and I think he's going to have it. 1st down, Coffeyville. Jones kept the feet moving, and that's just a theme that if you're going to be a running back that gets playing time for Jeff Leiker, Matt, you got to fall forward. You got to keep those feet moving.
Yep, strong running backs. He definitely likes them, even from his smaller, quick guys. You got to have good, strong legs, be able to push your way forward, and that's what he did, wheeling his way to the 1st down.
The best running backs in the world can turn 3 yards into 6 yards because they fall forward. Trey Jones looks good on his first 2 carries of the night. 1st down, Ravens at the 44-yard line, looking to build on this 3-point lead. Late first quarter, Oppo in the shotgun once again. Oppo fakes the handoff, rolling right. Oppo looking down the field, plants the feet, going deep, and tipped and incomplete. Should have been intercepted by Dodge.
That's the first time Oppo has underthrown anyone this season, and just about had his 2nd interception bailed out by the dropped pick by that defensive back.
And I think that's going to be a fold we see in the Raven offense this year, Matt. A couple times a game, I think they're going to say, you know what? On that play, I believe, was it Joseph Young that was down there? But the speed of Young, the speed of Speed Johnson, and the height of Richard Ransom, who's also a pretty good route runner. The Ravens have guys where it can be, 4 or 5 times a game, run down the field, we're going to give you a shot.
It was a wobbler, and that one, what they call a duck, just did not ever have a chance.
And Ravens catch a break that it was not intercepted. Flag on the play. Jones going nowhere. That's going to lose a couple yards.
Orion Fritch came in there right as the play was coming to an end and just laid an absolute hammer onto Jones.
That just sounds like a football player name. Orion French.
Orion French.
I'll tell you what. If you're a running back in this game.
Defense, number 99. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Offsides against the big man. And I was just about to say his name, Matt, because I was going to say if you're a running back for the Red Ravens tonight, of course you're not a collegiate running back if you can't take a hit. But you're not wanting to take a hit from big number 99 tonight.
No, that one feels a little extra.
6'6", 316 if you're just now joining us. That is the defensive tackle for Dodge City. And he's already been in the backfield a few times today. He's not just a body. He's a good player. 2nd down and 5 for the Ravens from the 39-yard line. Oppo in the gun. Man in motion is Jones. Oppo back to throw, looking over the middle and nearly picked again. And this is what we saw last week with Coffeyville against Highland in that 3rd quarter, Matt. Back-to-back plays where they should have had picks, and they can't pull it in.
Yeah, another dropped interception that keeps this drive alive. 3rd and 5, but Oppo, who I thought played a really clean game last week, has made it. Those are a couple bad throws.
And it's just interesting to me that, they're waiting for that big pass to be there, but it took till the 3rd quarter for that big pass to be there and last week against Highland. And I don't know if you want to wait that long for the offense to get going tonight. Handoff, this is Jones. Jones cuts back. Took a hit but fell forward. I think it's going to be 4th down and about 1.5 yards. And I think from this spot, Matt Jordan, I think Coach Leiker will think about going for this.
Yeah, you're kind of in no man's land. It's 4th and 2. I feel like you bring in the biggest boys you've got and you try to pick up the 1st down.
We'll see what the Ravens decide to do here. Fourth down. They call it 2. I think it's more like 1.5.
Yeah. In a play like this, 4th and short, you really have the juxtaposition between the offensive and defensive line. We'll see who comes out on top.
And the Ravens do have their biggest running back in the backfield, Trey Jones, who's more like a fullback body. It's going to be Oppo trying to follow his blocks. Oppo pushing forward. It's going to be close.
I don't think he got it.
I don't think he got it either. I think he's about 1/2 yard short. And they're going to say that Dodge City did make the stop. Conquistador defense gets the stop. Raven defense has been great so far tonight. We'll see if they can get another stop. We're back in 30 seconds on US 98. We'll see what the Ravens decide to do here. Or like 1.5.
Yeah. In a play like this, 4th and short, you really have the juxtaposition between the offense.
Ravens lead at 3-0 late first quarter. Raven defense has gotten 2 3-and-outs, but Raven offense on 3 possessions, although they've looked strong at times in this first quarter, Matt, it's only led to 3 points. So with all the time the Dodge City defense has been on the field in the first quarter, almost a win for the Dodge City team here in this first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely be down by a lot more if Coffeyville's offense was clicking any better. But they've been slow to get going. They were slow to get going last week, and it cost them. It's not costing them so far.
No, it is not. So Dodge City with a 1st and 5 following the offsides. And Jefferson looking for a screen in the flat, and for the first time today, Dodge is going to have a solid gain across midfield, and a strong play there for one of their top receivers from a week ago, Curry Powell, the redshirt freshman out of Houston. He's only 5'11", but he's got some great speed, and we saw it there.
Yeah, definitely looked good. Got into some open space, picked up a first down, and close to Coffeyville territory.
We'll see if they get one more playoff here in this first quarter. We're down to about 8 seconds. And 3, 2, 1. I don't think they're going to get this off. I think they're content. First quarter comes to an end. Ravens 3, Dodge City nothing. Let's step away for 60 seconds. When we come back, Ravens trying to get a stop on the defensive end. It's Coffeyville Community College football on US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network. College football on US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network. In that first quarter, Ravens run for 45 yards and end up with 61 total yards of offense. Only allow 7, but it's only a 3-point game. Now a quick screen pass, and Thomas is blown up. Great play there by number 5, the freshman Jaden Shepard. And he's got great size, Matt. I think he's going to work his way into some playing time because great instincts on that play, and he's also got a great frame, 6'2", and 195 as a defensive back.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good defensive backs, so if he's getting playing time, it means he's earned it. And great play there. The concerning thing about that first quarter, Connor Oppo, 2 of 9.
And a couple throws that probably should have been intercepted. Handoff up the middle, that's going to be about a gain of 3. We'll set up 3rd down and about 8 for Dodge. Well, and I'll tell you what, though. Of course, Iowa Western, the defending national champions, have not lost in the past season plus. They gave up 20 points to this Dodge team, made a couple mistakes, had a couple turnovers, but so far with what we've seen from the Red Raven defense, they are showing that they're probably one of the top defensive units from a talent perspective. And it looks like they jumped off sides as I tried to be nice to them, but from a talent perspective, through a game and a quarter, they look like one of the top talented defenses in all of the NJCAA.
Well, that's been kind of the whole plan or goal for Coach Liker.
Offsides.
Is
defense.
to
Number
have
99.
good
Contact with
defense
the
and
center.
really be able to
5-yard
control
penalty.
things.
Still second
And,
down.
last season when CCC beat Iowa Western, it was because of the defense and special teams.
Well, and Matt, it's the age-old saying, offense wins games, offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. 3rd down and 4 for the Dodge City Conquistadors. Down 3-0. We're just over a minute into the second quarter. Jefferson back to throw, looking to his left. Now he's going to step up, try to take off, and he's dropped from behind. A flag comes in late For now, the stop was made by Kyle Bryant, the sophomore. We'll see what the laundry's for. That looked like it came from a spot where it'd be a hold, but can't be sure. And it looks like it is going to be a hold against the Conks.
Holding. Offense. Number 54. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot.
They are going to accept that. Because I think 4th and 4, Matt, they would have gone for it.
Yeah, but give them a second chance here with 3rd and 13 or 3rd.
Well, and what I've seen so far, minus that one screen play, I think the Red Ravens secondary with those sophomore corners has won the battle against the Dodge City receivers. Jefferson really hasn't had many plays where he's had a receiver to throw to.
No, he has not. They've done a good job, and that front line also has looked good getting to Jefferson and not giving him time to throw or making him comfortable in the pocket.
Jefferson in the shotgun, 3rd and 14 for the Conquistadors. Ravens show blitz. Pressure comes, and the Ravens get a big-time sack. That is Rontravius Perry, the sophomore linebacker out of Covington, Georgia. And he didn't just sack the quarterback, Matt. He threw him like a rag doll.
Yeah, he definitely they showed blitz. They brought blitz. And then Perry squeezed in between the guard and the tackle and made that big play for Coffeyville.
And you got to think, if you're the Red Raven offense standing on the sideline right now, you got to be thinking, we got to help this defense out. Because right now, this defense is playing a world-class game through 3 drives. Ravens show a little bit of aggression there on that punt block. But Crenshaw goes off his hands. He's able to pick it up, but he's running backwards, and this is going to be not a very good return for Crenshaw. And once he dropped the initial catch, Matt, it usually doesn't go well after that. And that was the case there.
Yeah, sometimes you can get the defense out of their lanes or the return coverage out of their lanes, but that one had trouble written all over it.
They can't all be Deshaun Jackson.
Right. That is the exact play that was in my mind.
And that punter was released for that because literally the one thing they told him to do was kick it out of bounds.
Yeah. Matt Fosh. Yeah, Matt Fosh, I think was the punter.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have a job much longer. Oppo in the shotgun. Ravens' 4th drive of the night. They start from their own 15-yard line, leading at 3-0. RPO, they throw it to Breck Long, and Long is tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. Another great play by this Dodge City secondary, and that one was Moses Sarwa, the sophomore defensive back.
Yeah, Dodge is quick to the outside. The speed up for them as well, and they're not letting anything happen in the flats, being able to let plays get out in the open field. They're doing a good job of open field tackles.
And the beauty of college football is we could be one play away from an 85-yard touchdown, but so far through 18 minutes, I should say, Matt, this looks like it's going to be a fun defensive battle.
Yeah, this is a defensive battle. 2 teams that actually played good defense last week as well.
Connor Oppo in the shotgun, 2nd down and 10 after a no gain on 1st down. They faked the toss. Oppo tried to throw down the field. Now he's going to run for his life, and Oppo is going to take a hit and drop about 5 yards.
Just throw the ball away. I don't understand at that point why you tried to force something outside. It wasn't there.
Took a little bit of a hit, too.
Yeah, just throw it away. Live for 3rd and 10 and not 3rd and 15.
So 3rd down and 15 coming up for the Ravens. 11:25 to go in the first half. Again, coming up at halftime, the Red Raven halftime show presented by Community State Bank. We'll be joined by Red Raven head volleyball coach Dearden Kelly. K-State also in action. We'll give you a score update on K-State here in just a few. I'd hope they're winning. Guess you never know. You never know. Oppo back to throw on 3rd down and long. Oppo rolls left, looking for a receiver to get open. Now he's going to take off and just take some yardage. It's a gain of about 8, but it's going to be 4th down and 7 for the Ravens. That's good defense by Dodge. You know that, they have to get 15 yards to get that 1st down. In that spot, you just guard the sticks. It's okay if he gets 8.
Yeah, the Coffeyville offense still just kind of looks a little lost out there. They just haven't been able to figure anything out momentum-wise, rhythm-wise. And the offensive line is letting a lot of pressure free.
And it's almost like the script is flipped, Matt Jordan. It's last week the running game struggled early and the passing game was pretty solid. And this week the passing game is much better, or the running game is much better, and the passing game is taking a step back. And this is not the best punt. It's fair caught at about the 48-yard line.
Yeah, good starting field position for Dodge, trying to either tie the game up or take the lead. And despite their inefficiency offensively, their defense has kept them in this game.
And like we said, the beauty of college football, one play could be a big-time touchdown that gets this one off and running. And Dodge's defense, with the struggles their offense has had, they've put them in a position where their offense just needs one play to wake up, and they have the lead.
Well, we saw what Wiggins did last week. We thought that was going to be the catalyst that pushed them to victory against Highland. It did not, but, like you said, you're one play away from something big happening.
First down from the 49 for Dodge City. And it is a designed run for Jefferson, and he gets speared again by Perry. And you got to be careful there. He was already in the process of going down, and that was maybe one step away from being an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for diving into a quarterback going down.
Well, there was another broken play where that time Jefferson went to his right, and the back was on the left, and so Jefferson tried to make something out of nothing. And unlike Oppo, who got back to the line of scrimmage, Jefferson lost a chunk of yardage.
Jefferson looking out of the flat, and that out of the reach of his running back. And unfortunate there for the Conquistadors, because he was going to have a little bit of room to wiggle there.
Again,
what started as a pretty warm night, Matt, is quickly becoming a pretty night here in Coffeyville.
Yeah, it's still a little toasty up here in the press box. I'm sure it's hot on the field, but it is a beautiful view from the Veteran Memorial Stadium. And
one of the best views. One of the best views in the state for sure. Jefferson back to throw. Clean pocket. Now tries to take off. Dances away from the pressure. Throwing down the field, and it's caught. And that's the athleticism and mobility of Trayvon Jefferson, and it finally shows up on a big play. 3rd and 17 conversion for Dodge. He stepped away from the sack and makes the throw down the field on the run. What a play by the freshman.
Yeah, exactly what you want from your quarterback, escaping the pressure, buying some time, and finding the wide receiver for a big play, and that might be the big play that wakes up the offense.
Jefferson now in the pistol on first down from the Coffeyville 31. Dodge's best drive of the night. It is a handoff and a lot of room, and big play coming. Dodge inside the 10 down to the 5-yard line. Patterson saved a touchdown, but it's a huge play, and it's the running back Stone Wilson, the Dodge City kid, playing for the Conquistadors, and he has a huge 26-yard run.
Back-to-back big plays has the Dodge offense cooking here with a chance to tie or take the lead.
First down and goal, Dodge City at the 5-yard line. Patterson saved the tackle, chasing down Stone Wilson. Dodge City has awoken on the last 2 plays. Handoff, Wilson. And this time he stood up at the line of scrimmage. That's one of my favorite things about this Red Raven defense, Matt. They have a short memory. They give up some big plays. They gave up some big plays against Highland last week. They've given up some big plays here on this drive tonight. But they don't think about it too much. They regroup, they get back at it, and they made a great play there.
Well, and they're ball hogging. It's not one guy making a tackle. It's an unkindness of ravens. I don't know if you knew, but unkindness is a group of ravens.
How about that?
Yeah, not a flock, but an unkindness.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We're learning here.
I'm educational on the broadcast.
Red Raven Sports Network. It's masterclass. Jefferson looking on a slant and a little bit high there. That was a dangerous pass anyway. Receiver was Keith Liggins. A lot of bodies in there.
Number 81, Keith Liggins.
I don't know. I didn't know what a group of Ravens was, but there were a lot of them on that play.
There was a lot of them there. And like I said, that's the thing. It's not just one guy there to make a tackle. There's multiple people. And it doesn't matter from what side of the field. Guys go to where the ball is.
So 3rd and goal from the 5. And it looks like a timeout taken by Jeff Liker. So let's take it with them. We'll step away for 30 seconds. When we come back, Raven defense with a chance to get a big stop. They lead it by 3, trying to hold the Conquistadors on the goal line. We'll be back on the Red Raven Sports Network. And back here from the vet, and it's 3rd down and goal for Dodge City. Now, Matt, I want to ask, if the Ravens get the stop here and you're Dodge, do you go for the kick to tie it when your offense has struggled mightily so far until this drive, or inside the 5-yard line, do you think about going for it?
I think if you get to the 2, the 1 here, yeah. If not, no, tie the game.
Take your points?
Take the points, tie the game.
All right, we'll see what they do here. 3rd down, Jefferson back to throw, looking into the flat, and it's incomplete. Great anticipation there, and it's a guy we've been saying his name a ton in this first half, Matt Jordan, Adrian Patterson again.
Robert Burgess almost got a hand on it, or he might have gotten a hand on it, but was just about a couple of inches away from being able to jump up and pick that one off. But they do force the field goal. So good job answering by the defense.
Absolutely, and they will take their points, or at least try to take their points. So, nothing's a guarantee. They did miss a kick last week. And the snap is high, and nothing is guaranteed indeed. The throw is incomplete, and the Raven defense gets the stop. I don't think that was a designed fake. It was a bad snap, and no points for the Conquistadors.
They had issues, I heard last week, as McNair is a quarterback, so he is capable of making a play there. And yeah, it was a high snap, and that is going to cost them some points.
And I'll tell you what, Matt, with all the frustration of the Red Raven offense in this first half, missing some opportunities, the dropped big play early in the game, a couple throws that probably should have been intercepted. The defense has carried them so far tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a big part. The offense at some point has to reward their defense.
Oppo standing in his own end zone. 1st down from the 5-yard line for the Ravens. And a handoff is going to lose a yard. Credit to Dodge City, man. This Dodge front 7 is no joke. And we knew that coming in. They put up some impressive stats. And a timeout taken for an injury. We'll step away while they attend to the injured Dodge City player on the field. Let's step away for 60 seconds. We'll be right back on US 98. Matt Jordan alongside with
Credit
me.
to Dodge City, man.
This has been a battle of two really good defenses particularly, but it's been kind of different how they've set it up tonight. Really, for Dodge, it's been the front 7 that's really controlled this game, generating a lot of pressure on Oppo and really starting to contain the run very well. And for the Ravens, we saw a great game from the defensive line in week 1, but we have not said the name Griffin Lampton a ton tonight. Not said the name of a couple. We've said the name of Perry a couple times for the sack he had, but the star tonight for the Red Raven defense has been Adrian Patterson in that secondary.
Yeah, the defense has been great. Patterson, and then some of the other guys that have made some plays as well, and then just good coverage. Maybe we don't say their name because the ball wasn't even thrown into the area because how well the coverage was. Yeah. So just the defensive backs doing a great job for Coffeyville. But like you said, the defensive line is doing a good job for Dodge.
Well, that's what, that's the biggest compliment you can have as a defensive back is if nobody says your name. Because that means they're not testing.
That generally means, yeah.
Oppo, miscommunication there. Throw to the sideline is caught. And will give the Ravens just a little bit of breathing room, about 4 yards there.
Yeah, I don't know if that was an RPO, but it was kind of blown wrong side again.
Either Oppo handed it the wrong side or the running back ran the wrong way.
I would assume that since the receivers, if it was an RPO, the receivers were on the near side of the field, that the running back went to the wrong side. But puts up 3rd and long, and again, your defense stands up, and you're looking at a 3 and out if you don't get this here.
Under 7 minutes to go in the first half. 3-0 Ravens. They face a 3rd and 7 from their own 8-yard line. Dodge trying to get the ball back in good field position. Defensive battle. Ravens got a field goal in the first quarter. We've had no other points tonight. Oppo back to throw, and he's just going to take the little check down route to Smith. Smith's wrapped up. No gain on the play, and the Dodge City defense holds.
That's 3 and out. It's just Coffeyville's offense just cannot find any rhythm, any sort of momentum to kind of feed off what their defense is doing. And because of that, Dodge is winning the battle of field position despite Coffeyville's 3-0 lead.
Yeah, and like we talked about in the first quarter, Matt, Coffeyville was on the offensive side of the ball the entirety of the first quarter, and it really felt like the Dodge defense may get gassed. Now they flipped the script. Dodge is getting quick stops and starting to last a little bit longer on their drives, and now you're starting to think maybe the Coffeyville defense runs out of gas.
Well, you saw 2 big plays first time on that last drive for Dodge. Now another ugly punt for Coffeyville.
And it bounces out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. The Dodge City Conquistadors will take over in Red Raven territory. And I'll tell you what, we have not seen any of Bryce Conover tonight. After they nearly identically split snaps in week 1, Conover actually had 2 more pass attempts. It's been all Trayvon Jefferson here in week 2.
Yeah, kind of an interesting decision. I don't know if something happened in practice or what, but he's felt comfortable with Jefferson, and the offense hasn't really gotten anything going, although they look good on that last drive. We'll see how long they keep going with it.
On that play, where on that 3rd and 17, he shook out of the sack and made the throw on the run down the field. That's why they're starting him, Matt. Steps up here, looking down the field again, and it's there. Thomas into the end zone, and Cameron Thomas finds the paint for the Dodge City Conquistadors, and they find the end zone in one play.
Right on cue. Right on cue. He steps up, makes a big throw, finds his receiver, touchdown on the first play of that drive.
That's why he's getting playing time.
Yep.
And Dodge City, after the first 3 drives of the game, were an absolute nightmare. They got all the way down to the goal line, came up short, and then they strike in one play to take a 6-3 lead with the extra point coming. High snap again. This time the holder able to get it down, but it's wide left. And again, the woes for the Dodge City special teams continue.
It's big for Coffeyville because it keeps them in just a 3-point game.
And you almost feel for the kicker, Matt, because that's going to look bad on the kicker stats, but the kicker can't do anything about a bad snap.
No, he cannot. It is a missed two bad snaps. We'll see if they make a change. I was hearing the Dodge commentators pregame talk about it.
Name we haven't said a ton tonight is Martavian Johnson. Had a big day of kick returns in week 1. We'll see if he seems like the kind of guy, Matt, this offense needs a spark. They need a jolt. They need something to go their way. I could see it being a Martavian Johnson big return.
Yeah, just something to jolt the offense, get something going. And at what point, we talking about Dodge not going to their other quarterback. Coach Leiker talked at the beginning of the season, he likes 3 of his guys. At what point do we see Enzo Tedesco?
Something you got to think about. Now, maybe I just haven't been very aware, Matt, but I don't think I've seen this yet, or if we have, not very often. Now it's Jabari Tiller back there with Martavian Johnson, maybe trying to get one of his better players the ball in his hands.
Yeah, Tiller is also electric, so we'll see who gets the kick to their side.
And it looks like it'll be Johnson, but it'll go over his head and into the end zone. Red Ravens will take over at the 25.
So we still do not get to see anything from Johnson there, but Coffeyville will have it first and 10 from the 25, and man, they have to get something going.
Even if it's just a long methodical drive down the field, kick a field goal and tie the game going into the half, you just got to get some sort of momentum.
Eat some clock, give your defense a break, and try to find some momentum for the second half.
Coming up during the Red Raven halftime show presented by Community State Bank, we'll be joined by Red Raven volleyball coach Dearden Kelly, talking all things Raven volleyball, and that's a fun program to follow right now. Handoff right. This is Wiggins. Wiggins gets a couple yards before he's pushed back. We'll call it a gain of 2.
Well, that first couple of drives for Coffeyville, the run game was working, but that has come to an end as nothing offensively is working for Coffeyville.
And it's because the pass game has been so disappointing so far that Dodge City can really sell out on the run, Matt, because they have not had a big play through the air yet, other than the third down conversion to Speed Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, that was like the last thing that really happened positively for Coffeyville. And some missed receivers, drop balls, bad throws.
They call it a loss of 2 on the scoreboard, but it was a gain of 2.
Yeah, it was a gain of 2.
Second down and 8 for the Ravens. Oppo back to throw, steps up, makes the throw, and this time it's pulled in, and a big play for the Ravens across the 40-yard line. And that's going to be the wide receiver, Bryce Bonner. We called his name a little bit earlier. And this time he pulls it in and gets a nice gain for the Ravens, a gain of about 14.
Good, strong throw by Connor Oppo to find the open receiver who had kind of set down in the middle of that zone defense and found the first down and picked up a chunk of yards.
Oppo in the shotgun, first down. Ravens trying to play a little up-tempo. Oppo feels pressure to his backside, rolls right, makes the throw. Speed Johnson pulled it in, first down.
Good job finding Speed. Speed again found a hole as the play kind of broke down, and Oppo was able to find him and get inside Dodge territory for the first time this quarter.
Speed Johnson has made an impact in this first half, Matt.
Yeah, he had 2 catches all of last week. He already has 2, and they've been big in this one.
So now the Ravens into Conquistador territory, trailing 6-3 after a missed field goal opportunity and a missed extra point for Dodge. Oppo now, a little RPO screen. This is Crenshaw. Crenshaw gets to the sideline and gets about 4 yards on a play that looked like it was going nowhere, and that's just the speed of Crenshaw.
Yeah, Christian Crenshaw able to get to the outside and picks up a couple, and just anything to positively move the offense forward. Ball on the 40 here. 2nd and 7 as Oppo gets the play from the sideline. We'll see what Coach Leicher draws up here as we continue to tick down. 3:20 left in a 6-3 game. You got to think Coffeyville wants to chew up enough time where they don't allow Dodge to get any time to answer, but they also want points.
No doubt about it. Man in motion on the right side, 2nd down and 7. Oppo starting to feel a little more confident on this drive. As we say that, he's got some pressure. Throw on the run, and that one incomplete.
Good time, good decision that time by Connor Oppo to just let it go and get rid of it, because coming that time,
Jaden Kelly.
It was Jaden Kelly, and Kelly was
a lot of good
blood.
A lot of good Conquistador defenders on this team. He might be their best one.
Yeah, which is quite the compliment. Like you said, a lot of good guys on that front 7 for them. And Oppo,
there's just
smart decision.
There might not be anything more terrifying in football than a edge rusher with elite speed.
Yeah,
that is scary. Because they're fast, they hit hard, they're big. 3rd down and 7 for the Ravens. Oppo in the gun by himself. Dodge sends pressure. Oppo has the athleticism to get away from it. Looking down the field on the run, and could not hook up. He had a tight end in the vicinity. That was Remington Easley, and just could not find the ball.
Yeah, just a little overthrown, trying to get Easley as he was throwing on the run there. But good job again by Oppo. Escape the pressure, keep the play alive, and at least give yourself a chance.
So it's Thomas back to receive the punt, and Cameron Thomas was the one who caught the touchdown for Dodge on their last drive. The Ravens got a couple plays through the air there, but the drive does stall. And this is a good punt by the Ravens. Tiller's going to down it inside the 5, and now the Ravens have a chance to really do something special on defense.
Has them pinned all the way back, as last week Jabari Tiller had a couple of times where he could have had someone pinned deep, but made a couple of bad decisions. Couldn't find the ball once, and then had that roughing the fair catch interference.
Punters are people too. Cade Dowd, what a punt.
I'm a big proponent of punters and kickers, and they play an important role in football.
I know you're an Oklahoma State guy, but a big guy that helped me fall in love with the art of the punter is Michael Turk.
Yes, Yes, he's a great one.
Punters are people too.
Yeah, punters are people too. Pat McAfee, of course, as a Rams fan, Johnny Hecker for many years. Yes.
Marquette King, of course, back in the day. Some good punters out there.
Flair to the punting position.
Dodging the pistol handoff, and it's going to get him some breathing room, a gain of about 5 yards.
Number 22, Stone Wilson.
On first down. 6-3 our score. Ravens got a couple first downs through the air. Still trail this one 6-3. Speed Johnson's been the story of this first half of the Raven offense. I think he's been the best player, you have to say, for Coffeyville's offense.
Yeah, I mean, early in this one, I definitely think it's Speed Johnson for sure.
Looking to the right side, he makes the catch, stays in bounds, fighting his way across back to the 16-yard line. First down for Dodge.
And then I'd argue Patterson's been the best player on defense. So
oh, I think Patterson right now is my favorite for US 98 player of the game. Patterson's been all over the place. And it's the same thing like we said about Jaden Kelly, where it's so many good defenders on this Red Raven team. When you stand out, you stand out.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing on the other side of the ball.
Handoff right side. This is Stone. And Stone Wilson flipped upside down on that tackle there, but he's got a good gain. And now, Matt, we're seeing on the one-play touchdown drive, and now here the first couple plays of this drive, Coffeyville defense could use a breather.
Yeah, they are waiting patiently and desiring that halftime break as the offense has really started to figure out a rhythm on Dodge City side of the ball, especially now running the football after the big touchdown pass play.
If you're Jeff Leiker, what do you say in the locker room right now?
Oh, I don't even know where to start.
Can he get it all in 15 minutes? That is the question. Jefferson steps up. Pressure coming from behind. Jefferson's got good speed. And he gets away from the sack, and he'll take about a 4-yard gain. And as this game's continued, Trayvon Jefferson, he's getting more and more comfortable in that pocket, Matt.
Yeah, they look better and better, and props to the Dodge City coaching staff for sticking with him despite those rough first drives. And he has rewarded them with the lead. And now driving once again as we wind through the bottom of this first half.
The Murray State transfer, and he's got outstanding size. 6'4", 220 from Nashville, Tennessee, and he's looking like he could be a future star at Dodge City. Second down and 6 for the Conquistadors. Still a minute 41 to mess with, and they're going to call a timeout. Jeff Leiker wants to talk it over. Let's step away for 60 seconds. We'll be right back. US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network. Dodge City with the football, and they dump it out into the flats to Stone Wilson. He gets out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. I'm Shane Neal. We're back here from the vet. 6-3 Dodge City, our score. Red Ravens got off to a strong start, but have slowed down, particularly on the offensive end. We still got a minute 33, and Dodge starting to move the ball a little bit on this final drive. Trayvon Jefferson's been the story. Big thank you to our sponsors tonight. Thank you to Medical Watch, Community State Bank, Coffeyville Community College, Windsor Place at Home Care, as among others. That pass complete by Jefferson. He's going to get up to about the 49-yard line. And that's Cameron Thomas who caught the touchdown. And Dodge City can do no wrong right now on the offensive end. Also, big thank you to Gillum Liquor, Derail Commodity, Taco Mayo, NDB of Coffeyville, Coffeyville Regional Medical Center, and Romans Chevrolet. Jefferson, this fast tempo offense working, and that's going to be a flag. Thomas had the corner all over him, and that's going to be against Martavian Johnson, the freshman defensive back.
Pass interference, defense, number 9.
Johnson had a great week 1 against Highland, but
automatic first down.
has not made quite as much of an impact here tonight. We have not said the name Griffin Lampton as much tonight as well. Minute 17 to go now, and it'll be first down at the 44-yard line for Dodge. They've moved it all the way into Coffeyville territory. Red Raven halftime show presented by Community State Bank coming up. And that screen pass going nowhere. Pressure on the play from the Red Ravens.
Incomplete pass by the quarterback.
Pressure on that play was sent in by Jalen Williams. And Jalen Williams has incredible size, 6'8", 225 pounds. Sophomore, situational edge rusher. A weapon for Jeff Leiker, and he was in on that play. Kansas State Wildcats in action tonight over on the Mighty 690, and they're playing some pretty good football here tonight. Up 38-0, early third quarter. Trayvon Jefferson back to throw. Pressure comes, he escapes. He's inside the 40 and up to the 37-yard line. And a gain of about 8 yards for Trayvon Jefferson. It'll bring up third down and short as we tick under a minute to go. This Dodge City team has moved the ball very well their last couple drives. Do the Ravens have enough energy in them to get one final stop in this first half? Jefferson steps up, pressure coming from the spy, and Jabari Tiller is able to wrestle him down out of bounds. And Matt Jordan, it was a tough first week in terms of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Has not made a play in coverage yet tonight. And there is Jabari Tiller making an enormous play on third down.
Yeah, we've been waiting for it. That's the first one that we've seen so far this season. You know, we've talked a lot about Jabari, one of the guys coming back to the team after being a part of it last year. And now with a chance to make a play on the quarterback to kind of stall this drive, and does it.
And another timeout. We'll keep it here, though. Kansas State up 38-0 over on the Mighty 690, which means you don't need to listen to them and you can stay here with us.
Absolutely. Game is much better.
Who wants to listen to K-State beat out, blowout SEMO?
Yeah. And
not me.
Broadcaster of the Year, Wyatt Thompson.
Yeah, facts. Who
Multiple
wants to listen to
Kansas Hall of Famer?
Who wants to listen to the best play-by-play guy in the state when you can have the 614th best play-by-play guy in the state?
Yeah, I once had somebody tell me I was their third favorite play-by-play guy.
I know. Behind Wyatt.
Behind Mitch Holtis, Wyatt Thompson, and
That's
me.
good
That's
company.
good company. Like when you mention there's a trio and then you're the third of those three, I'll take it every
Here's
day.
my three favorite commentators: voice of the Chiefs, voice of Kansas State, and Matt Jordan.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'm some people's not even their favorite Shea Neal.
You're my favorite Shea Neal.
Hey, I appreciate that. You know, it's a line you've used before, Matt. You know, I come in second a lot, and if it were up to some people, I'd come in fourth. So Dodge showing punt here, 4th and 10 from the 44. How aggressive are you here for Coffeyville? I think you just take a knee.
I think you go into half. Your offense hasn't looked good enough. Make adjustments at the halftime. Don't try to force something here.
Snap on the punt was good. Crenshaw will let it go. It'll bounce out of bounds inside the 10, about the 7-yard line. I don't see them.
No.
I
just as deep as you are, maybe run the ball, and if you break something loose, break something free, and you pick up a chunk of yards, then yeah, sure. But 28 seconds and needing 91 yards, yeah, no. I'll take.
Since you used
I'll
that,
take the 3-point deficit.
I'm gonna warn you and everyone listening at home. Since you said if you break one free, since you use that verbiage, that wording, I'm going to say if somebody does break one that they're soaring flying.
Okay, that's fine.
And there's not a star in heaven that they can't reach.
Yeah, we're breaking free. We'll get our.
I felt like I should warn people.
Yeah, listen, if I'll be the Vanessa Hudgens to your Zach Efron.
Oh,
day.
good. I don't think I could hit Vanessa's notes. I might be able to.
They did take the knee.
They did take the knee. We're going to have a halftime score of Dodge City 6 and Coffeyville 3 from the vet. Home opener for the Red Ravens, and they got to get their offense figured out if they want to get their first win of the season here tonight. That'll do it for the first half from the Veterans Memorial Stadium. Our score at the break, Dodge City 6, Coffeyville 3. Red Ravens will kick the ball off to start the second half. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Coming up next, the Red Raven Halftime Show presented by Community State Bank. And we'll be joined by head coach Dearden Kelly of the Red Raven volleyball team. That starts in 2 minutes. The Red Raven Halftime Show presented by our friends at Community Bank. Big thanks to them for sponsoring the Red Raven Halftime Show. I'm Shea Neal. 6-3 Dodge City at the half. We'll get plenty more into that. And for those of you that want to hear plenty more about this game, and of course every single game every week, now's a great time to tell you about our Red Raven Coaches Show, which takes place every Wednesday night, 6 o'clock, from Gigi's Burger Bar on 9th in downtown Coffeyville. We're joined by Coach Leiker and his staff every single Wednesday, and we talk about the latest in Red Raven football, key injuries, key roster updates, all that kind of stuff. You're not going to want to miss it. Red Raven Coaches Show. Big thanks to Gigi's Burger Bar for hosting that every week. Wednesday night, 6 o'clock. We'll have plenty to talk about from this Dodge game and the Montgomery County Showdown next week, Matt, when they head on the road to take on Independence.
Yeah, that's always a fun one, and I'm sure there's a lot of history between the two schools, especially with Leiker being here as long as he have, and being an Indy person himself.
Yep.
Kind of adds to that whole thing.
It sure does.
So that'll be fun one next week.
It sure does. And where are my manners? Let's introduce our halftime guests. We're joined, excited for our home games this year. We're going to have some live halftime guests, and I think that's very exciting. We're joined now by Red Raven head volleyball coach Dearden Kelly, the rising star of Coffeyville Community College. How are you? Thanks so much for being here.
Good. I'm excited.
Absolutely. We're excited that you're here. Let's get it started. A big win for your group on Wednesday in the home opener against NEO. A tough non-conference, which we'll get into a little bit. But coming home, playing in front of the fans, playing in front of the friends of the girls on the team, had to feel good, and it had to feel good about how your team played as well.
Yeah, I think we really needed that shake back after playing some hard non-conference and just showing them we did that for a reason to be able to apply it to teams here. So I was really excited to see we took care of business. Absolutely. It's really easy to play down, so I was hoping we stayed at our level.
Absolutely. So you told me your first time here inside the Vet. What are your initial thoughts on the stadium?
I love the stadium. I think it has a lot of charm. Last year, I feel like every time we had a home football game, me and my girls were traveling elsewhere, so I didn't but I like to watch them online, and our girls, when we're on the bus, they're glued to their phones watching them, so.
Well, and I think I did a playoff game with Matt last year for Field Kinley taking on El Dorado, and it was my first time sitting up here. I think this has to be one of the best views from any football field in the state. Like just seeing downtown Coffeyville off in the distance, you get the field, this is the picture perfect view right here.
Yeah, and it's even better when you're up on the 5th floor too, because you can see farther out. You got the refinery that looks like a city skyline.
I know.
You could tell people that was like New York City.
Well, I was going to say, when we first did that game, I was like, where are we, just outside Los Angeles?
Yeah.
But those fifth floor stairs.
Yeah, it's the elevator. When the elevator's working, I love it up there. When
man.
the elevator's not working, I'm not a fan. Dearden, you mentioned when you guys are on the road, the girls are glued to that screen. That's one of the things I love about CCC. You see it a lot during basketball season. The support from one group of athletes to other groups of athletes, whether it's volleyball and football showing up for basketball, whether it's volleyball and basketball showing up for football, everyone showing up softball, baseball. I mean, that's something that's great about this
we
place.
have tons of social media stuff too, and I'm always getting other sports following us and trying to keep track on what we're doing or resharing our posts or things like that, and it's really cool. So I try to encourage my girls to go to as many games as we can, especially in the spring, when it's baseball, softball, when we're not we're still focused, but we're not as focused. I try to even let them out of practices early if there's a baseball game they want to catch or something like that, just so they can support, because we appreciate the support too. It makes our girls play way better. So
we talked about it a little bit earlier this week before your home opener, but I'd love for you to touch on it a little bit more. Since Matt brought up all the support of all the programs here at Coffeyville Community College, it made me think about, like we talked about, all these programs on campus are either championship contenders or making strides to get there. There's not many teams that are flat-footed at Coffeyville Community College. It's either a team that's at the top of their sport that they're playing, or they're on their way to the top. And that has to not only feel good for a member of the campus, but also feel good competitively, because all these programs are bringing out the best in each other.
It's nice. I have so many good coaches to look up to and ask for guidance and things like that. I know it's not the same sport, but it's the same mentality and culture that everyone's trying to evoke. So I really like it.
Coach, this is your second season with the Red Ravens. Now, I only got to see a couple of your matches before year one came to an end, but it's always interesting for me, especially with a couple young coaches at CCC in terms of their tenure with the Red Ravens, the differences between year one and year two, whether that be with the recruiting class, whether that be with some of the lessons you've learned, whether that be maybe you're a little bit more comfortable with something that you weren't last year. What's been some of the big differences for you in year two versus year one?
I think my year one, we didn't start out with that many kids, and so I was really hitting the ground recruiting. And then this year, I would get an email from a kid wanting to come, and it was just so different for me, because it was I was trying to reach out to all these people, and then after we got our name out and we had a good season, it was I want to come to Coffeyville, and I was okay, this is gonna be just fine. So things like that, and just home game day management and things like that. Once you do it once, you're okay, this is fine. But the first couple games, I was nobody knows what we're doing. So my girls really helped me a lot, though, because we do all of our own setup. So
we talked briefly about your non-conference schedule. You did something this season that my alma mater did a lot as well, and I kind of like it. We talked a little bit about it with Brad Weber, where it feels like you schedule some teams. You scheduled some Division I teams. You scheduled some really good Division II teams. And I think, in order to obviously better prepare yourself for conference play, in order to compete at the highest level early on in the season, really kind of learn from those experiences. And I like that move, because I think, your group was projected kind of middle of the pack last year, and I think you outperformed your expectations. This year, you are considered one of those contenders towards the top of the conference. And I think setting yourself up to be successful in conference with a lot of tough non-conference games is a great move. Your thoughts into going into that process?
I think my thought process was that I would rather take a loss early and peak late then play easier teams and not prepare us for the top 3 teams that we need to be competing with appropriately. And so going to Texas and making those moves, we have, for every experienced sophomore we have on the floor, we have an inexperienced freshman in that same role to counterpart them. So I think getting them into Texas and that fast-paced volleyball and things like that, it is going to better prepare them for the conference games that we have coming up.
It sure is. And, Coach, appreciate your time. We're going to a couple more things, but one of my favorite things that I've already kind of picked up on in the first 10 matches of the year, some of the sophomore, not just sophomores, but sophomore leadership that you have on your team.
Amazing.
A lot of players that really are great players on the court, but are also great leaders, friendly people off the floor, really get people excited about that program. Has to make your job easier, having girls that really carry the brand of Coffeyville volleyball so well.
Yeah, I just try to tell them to be good humans and give grace and be kind when you can. And I think my girls are the epitome of grace and kindness most days. We are teenage girls, so you got to give us a second. But, they amaze me every day. I learn something new all the time.
Red Raven head volleyball coach Dearden Kelly joining us here on the Red Raven halftime show presented by Community State Bank. Let's step away for 2 minutes. If Coach Kelly doesn't have anywhere to be, we have a couple more things if you mind sticking around.
No, that's fine.
Absolutely. We'll be back in 2 minutes on US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
At Coffeyville Regional Medical Center, we staff our emergency room with emergency medicine physicians 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. ER physicians at CRMC have access to general surgeons, specialists, medical imaging, lab services, and the technology needed in an emergency, all right here. If you are faced with a life-threatening emergency, insist on the best and say, "Take me to CRMC."
Roman Chevrolet, your Silverado City, appreciates our area educators. Right now, Romans and Independence are offering $500 cash bonus to all educators. If you are an educator and you need a new or newer vehicle, stop by Romans for details on this amazing bonus. Romans deeply appreciates your service to the community and all you do to shape the future for your students. Reap the rewards at Roman Chevrolet, 2313 West Main in Independence. Call 620-331-4700 to find new roads.
When you need to rely on a nursing facility for the care of a loved one, wouldn't it be comforting to know that the owner is providing the care? Owner Stephanie Bean with Medical Lodges is proud to supply that tender care in Coffeyville. Skilled nursing services, rehabilitation, adult daycare, and much more are all offered. Visit medicallodges.com or stop by 2921 West 1st in Coffeyville and learn more. Medical Lodges Coffeyville, where they serve and enhance the lives of others with caring hands.
And the Red Raven Sports Network, and we continue our conversation with Red Raven head coach Dearden Kelly. Coach Kelly, thanks so much for the time again. Something that one of the first things you talked about when we first started having conversations was the fact that you're only a few years out of your playing career as well. And we've talked about how that, how you use that towards recruiting, how you can kind of relate to what these players are thinking, what these players are going through. First of all, happy birthday, because you did just celebrate a birthday.
Yes, I'm old.
26.
I'm ripe in 26.
You got to be careful. Some of the people that listen to the station might hear you say that 26 is old and get upset. But I'm curious, again, your thoughts on when you're going out recruiting players, using your experiences and using kind of that time period of your life to kind of relate to some of your incoming players.
Yeah, I just feel like I connect really well with the girls, and I was at a JUCO, and then at my 4-year I had 2 different coaches, so I feel like and then I was an assistant, so I feel like I have a lot of different kind of coaching backgrounds that I can kind of see what I liked and what I didn't like and what I thought was more conductive for either me physically or my mental health or things like that, and I just try to apply that with the girls, and I'm really open and honest with them so they can be open and honest with me, so I don't think I have a kid that would not call me at 2 in the morning if they needed me. So I just kind of try to I don't want to say big sister them, but you know what I mean? Like, you big sister them, and hopefully, you know, you lead by example and you show them how to be respectable.
Well, and I think Matt would agree with me on this, Matt. Something I've always said, one of my best friends from high school is 2 years older than me. He was I met him when I was in 8th grade, and he was a sophomore in high school. And I think of him as my big brother. I gave a speech at his wedding, and I think it's because, kind of like what Coach Kelly's saying, I'm the oldest child in my family, but everybody kind of wants that big brother, big sister figure. And he's that for me. And I think in a lot of ways, you know, you can be that for the incoming players.
Yeah, I still talk to my previous players, which is crazy that I already have, like, 2 previous classes. Because I'm like, I'm
that is
so
weird
young.
to say.
I know.
My previous players.
Yeah, I still talk to them really frequently. They send me their links. I watched 4 games today, and I'll forever do that. Even if I have to set up 2 TVs in my living room, I will watch them, and I will text them after, and I'll tell them all of the things. So, yeah, I love it.
Now, there has to be a fine line, though, between being a coach and still being like the best friend or the big sister.
It's so funny. I get that question a lot. They're like, how do you stay like so close with them but also have that point of respect? And I mean, going on 2 years, knock on my noggin, but I've never had a disrespect problem. And I do think it's because I give respect. I feel like you give respect to get respect. And so I respect my kids enough that they give me the same in return. I never have to worry about it. Thank goodness.
No doubt about it. Now, Coach, you mentioned to me a couple weeks ago that there was some work done to Nellis East in the offseason, touching up some stuff to get ready for the new year. Can you touch on some of the stuff that they did and what people can expect if they're heading to Nellis this year?
Yes. So me and my bestie, Ashley George, shout out to her, we painted that whole thing with one of our other friends, Brendan, in 4 days. I'll actually never do that again. That was not my brightest idea, but we painted it just to give it some fresh look, make it look brighter. And then we got some vinyl up just to make it look a little bit cleaner. And then we got some new mats, and we're going to get some new pole mats too. So we just have some things. Oh, and a sound system. So we don't have to roll out a speaker anymore, which is really cool. Andrew helped us with that. So just some new little updates that hopefully my girls make it makes them happier to be there and more proud of their environment.
Absolutely. Not necessarily a volleyball question, but this is just something that I've really picked up on in my time here, and something that I think is one of the coolest things about being an athlete here is the ways that you can interact with CCC athletics and the ways that you can follow along. Where there's not many JUCOs out there across the country that have every single home game streaming on YouTube.
We didn't have any
that have a radio station affiliate, that have, you know, and I mean, one of the coolest things for me, I started in basketball season, so everything I compare to, it's to basketball. But the basketball team has a Greek player, Sodinaf Pleotis, and just knowing that he was from Athens, Greece, and knowing that last game of the season, his mom came down and talked to me after the game and said, you know, that they appreciate the little stuff like that. I mean, I think it's just such a cool opportunity for a lot of these athletes that it is a college after all. So a lot of these athletes are from out of state or far away in the state or even out of the country sometimes, and their parents, their friends, their families can follow along. That's really cool.
Yeah, you got to make it home away from home. Like when we post our link on my Instagram, it gets blown up, like for our live stream, or we'll get messages on our Facebook. Where's the link? Where's the link? Where's the link? And so I love that.
Yeah. Coach, last thing we have, and thank you so much for hanging out with us here on the Red Raven Halftime Show. Big homestand coming up for your group. After that home opener against NEO, still 8 of your next 9 matches at home, beginning on Monday with Seminole State. How can people obviously come check you out, and any message, I guess, for the people that are maybe interested in starting to follow along with CCC volleyball?
No, I would love for them to come out. I think we have a really electric, fun group coming in. Our bench has the time of their life over there. And so do ours. Obviously, if you've watched anything, we just have a ball out there. So I would love for people. I was trying to recruit people when they were walking in the football game. I was like, Monday, 6:30. So I'd love for people to come check us out and get some more support.
No doubt. And, you know, Matt, our colleague Chris Freund called the game on Wednesday.
He did good.
And it was his first ever volleyball game he did. And on Thursday morning, the first time I saw him on Thursday, he looked at me with this big smile on his face and he said, calling volleyball was fun. And I looked at him and I was like, I know. I thought the same thing when I started doing it in college. Everyone, when they start being a broadcaster, they think football, basketball, baseball, because that's the big sports that, you know, and then it's like volleyball is a blast.
Something's always happening.
So fast-paced. So many unbelievable plays, unbelievable rallies. I mean, it's unbelievable what some of those
you get into it, like you get stuck up in the rally and you get so into it. But he did great. He did a good job for never doing it before.
He did. He did, but hopefully I can live up to the hype on Monday.
Yeah, now you've got big
I was gonna
shoes to
say,
fill.
I was gonna say, if I end up finding out that Chris is better than me, I might have to retire.
You just get the boot.
You'll be the 5th best.
Yeah, right. I'm down to 5th.
Oh man, that's
absolutely. I'm still getting over you saying that you were a Chiefs fan. That hurt my heart.
Well, I'm not over you being a Bengals fan.
No, that's fair. Well, I'm from Ohio. I mean, I think that's fair.
But you're in Kansas. It's un-American.
I read the fine print on my contract. It did not say have to be a Chiefs fan. It said have to cover the Chiefs.
Yes,
there's a
that is
difference.
true.
Coach Kelly, thanks so much for the time. We look forward to following along throughout the course of the season. Best of luck to you and the girls, and we'll see you on Monday.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's step away for 90 seconds. Second half coming up next on US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
Those big out-of-town banks had that fancy stuff. Are you sure you did it right?
Yes, Donna. I received an alert from Community State Bank telling me it was deposited.
Alert! What did you do now?
No, Donna. It was an alert I signed up for, letting me know when a deposit is made. I also signed up for a low balance alert on our account and when our home loan payment is posted.
Wow, that's some pretty fancy stuff from Community State Bank.
Yes, Donna, pretty fancy stuff, but I can still walk right through the door, or I can call and talk to a real banker when I want to.
You're so smart for banking at Community State Bank, Ralph. I love you.
Make your life easier with mobile banking from Community State Bank. Member FDIC.
I love you too, Donna.
You have a choice on where to go and who you want to be. Here at Coffeyville Community College, you can be you. We can make you workforce ready at one of our technical campuses, be a student athlete, join an honors program or an activity, have a voice with student government, and be involved with student life events. Our school believes in our red and white traditions, providing you with a quality education and preparing you for the next journey in life. Once you experience our campus, you know you've made the right choice. Let us help you make our story your story and become Raven proud.
Second half getting ready to get started here at the Vet, and I'm Shane Neal, Matt Jordan alongside with me. And Matt, how good was Dearden Kelly?
She's great. She did a great job.
And that's one of my favorite things about her. Is she's just, she's got the kind of energy that even if you haven't followed volleyball very long or you don't know much about volleyball, you want to root for her.
Well, I've never called the sport. Now I want a chance.
There you go. Get in line.
I
KGF
know, right?
sportscasters are fighting over who gets to call CCC volleyball. Dodge City gets the return up to about the 19-yard line. That's where they'll start. We'll see how much that halftime break helped out the Red Raven defense to catch their breath.
Yeah, I mean, they got to start on defense here, and
when you think about it,
down 3.
This could really be Dodge in firm control of this game. They missed the field goal because of the bad snap, missed an extra point because of a bad snap, and had that drive going at the end of the half. And if it wasn't for that big play by Jabari Tiller, it could be a 2, maybe even 3-score lead for Dodge right now. Pressure, they completed over the middle. And that'll be a gain of about, call it 7 yards. And that's Curria Powell.
Gain on their first play of the second half. Sets up a second advantage rule. That's exactly what you want to see.
While we're shouting out talented people here tonight, a big thank you to Stephanie Brees back in the studio, who is flying the plane tonight for us with Nick Bryan unavailable and has been absolutely sensational. Not that I expected anything different. Handoff up the middle, no gain on the play. But Steph, one of the best in the business.
Steph's someone that knows radio, just knows radio.
And yeah, there's some of those people. It's a lot of people in the media that are like this, but in all aspects of life, there's just some people that are going to figure stuff out and get it. She's one of those people.
Yeah,
we knew she'd figure it out very fast. And
a lot of experience, more radio experience than the two of us combined, and you knew when you put her in a new position, a new situation, she's going to figure it out.
Third down and 3 here for the Conquistadors. Raven defense looking for a quick stop. Jefferson back to pass, throwing into the flat. It's there, and it's a good gain. Broken tackle, and off to the races, and cutting back inside, and tripped up by his own teammate. It was Powell. He was gone, and he was tripped up by Javon Campbell.
That's tough because he'd cut back inside, and he was gone, and just hit by his own player.
Oh, that's a tough break. And what it could be it could end up being a game-changing play if the Ravens can come up with a stop here.
Yeah.
It's like it reminds me of the Daniel Jones play, Matt. He was gone.
Tripped up himself.
And he just tripped. Yeah, at least he tripped on his teammate. Out into the flat, screen pass. They go right back to Powell. Powell has some kind of elusiveness, and he gets another 6 yards or so. This Dodge offense, about midway through the second quarter, they found something, and it's working for them.
Yeah, Coffeyville's defense got a little tired in that second part of the first half, and now Dodge found some rhythm and is trying to make the Red Ravens pay for not having any rhythm on offense of their own.
6-3 our score. 2nd down and 4 from the Red Raven 29. If you're Dodge right now, you're thinking touchdown because no kick is guaranteed for this team. Play action fake over the middle. It's caught, and this will be a touchdown. Dodge City quicking. It's Keith Liggins for 6.
Yeah, they were thinking touchdown all right, and they scored right on cue, and they extend their lead. And we'll see, do they go 2 or they try to kick an extra point here?
And all of a sudden, Matt Jordan, 6 quarters and change into the 2023 football season. And the Coffeyville Red Ravens, if you told me this 9 days ago, I might not have believed it. They have their backs against the wall.
Yeah, it's just not been the start. And when you looked at the schedule ahead of the season, you looked at the
felt like a good start.
First 3 games were the 3 bottom-picked teams. And now you're setting through, the first 6 quarters and into the 7th, 0-1, and now down
10
by
points.
10.
Similar position you found yourself against Highland last week. We'll see if they have a rally in them. 13-3 our score, 12:24 to go in the third quarter. Now, credit to Dodge City, credit to Highland as well. Highland played a great game last week, capitalizing on their mistakes. But as we saw with the game against Iowa Western last week, Matt, and what we've seen tonight, I don't know who picked Dodge to come in 6th, but I think they were wrong.
Yeah,
this Dodge City team is a good football team.
It looks like, or that's just a testament to how deep
the Jayhawk
is. Because you look at Indy, who was picked to finish 5th, and they absolutely rolled over NEO on Thursday. So, this is just how deep the Jayhawk is.
It sure is. And, one of my favorite quotes that we'll probably be saying a lot this year came from DJ Mayo of the Highland Scotties back on Media Day. And he said, look, if you want to come in the top half of this conference, which is the goal every year, you have to be a top 10 team in the country.
Yeah.
And he's right. You do.
Yep. To the point where Highland received votes last week off their one victory against Coffeyville.
That's how respected this conference is.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. If Highland can find a way to win today, they probably would be ranked. We're going to get you some scores from around the KJCCC here in just a couple minutes. Kick down the field and some room to run here. And a hole opens up across the 35 up to the 39. And some good speed there. And who else? And that's going to be Leonard Harris, the freshman defensive back, Matt. They switch up their return man. And Leonard Harris returns it to the 39-yard line. Good return for the Ravens. They're going to mark it on the 37. We've had the same idea. We're both heading to check on KJCCC scores.
Well, Butler is up big, 29-0 on Highland.
Oppo hands it off here on first down and looking for some room and fighting his way forward. Keeping those legs turning, ends up getting about 3 yards.
Garden lost to Iowa Central 30-20.
That's Azario Smith that got the carry.
And Hutch beats Ellsworth 72-7.
Yeah, Hutch looks good.
Yeah, they do.
They beat the number 11 team in the country 42-6 and then beat Ellsworth 70-7. Sheesh.
Anytime you score 70 points, that says a lot.
It sure does. Well, the Ravens will see the Dragons in Hutchinson here in 3 weeks. Got the Pirates next week, and then a bye week, and then it's the Hutchinson Blue Dragons. And right now, as that pass complete to about the 47-yard line, and that's Jaden Dozier. Right now, Matt Jordan, 2 weeks into the season, Hutchinson looks like the clear number 1 team in America.
Yeah, Hutch does look like the best team in JUCO football, and not surprising. They've been great over the last decade, and they're continuing that this year.
13-3, 3rd down and 6 for the Ravens. Needing some sort of spark with their offense, and now, Matt, you asked this question in the first half. If they can't convert here, down 2 scores, is this when you start thinking about maybe making a change at the quarterback spot? Handoff up the middle, had a lane for a second, but it closed up quick, and he's going to be about 3 yards short of the first down.
I don't like that play call. It's 3rd down and 6, and you're not on your side of the field. You're just going to run up the middle, and now what, punt? You're down 10 points.
Yeah, they're sending out the punter.
And if you don't trust Connor Oppo to pick up 6 yards on 3rd down, then you need to get a different quarterback in the game.
4th down and 4 from the 48. Ravens down 13-3. It'll be Dayton Smoot in the punt. What we're learning as the year goes on, Matt, is Dowd, as this one will be fair caught. It takes a Raven bounce, a really good Red Raven bounce, and it's down at the 5 by Tiller. But what we're learning is Dowd seems to be their power punter that can kind of boot it down the field, and Dayton Smoot seems to be their kind of their precision guy. And they showed some precision there. That was a great punt.
Yes, another good punt. I mean, that's another one where they pin them deep, and the defense, again, being asked to step up, down 10.
And only 1 turnover last week that didn't lead to any points. No turnovers tonight. Had a couple chances early. It really feels like if the Red Ravens are going to get their 2023 season turned around, they need that big fumble, that big interception. The Raven defense has to come away with that pick 6, that fumble recovery that sets them up on the goal line. That has to be what swings this game. In the pistol, they hand it off. He tries to cut left. It'll be a gain of about 3. Now sitting. The sky has officially darkened here in Coffeyville. And it's turned into still a warm, but a pretty night.
Still very hot night. Very warm. Not a lot of.
It was much cooler in Highland.
Air, yeah. Not a lot of air. I'd kind of like to go back to that if we're being honest.
I don't know if I want to put up with the drive for
no
10 degrees cooler.
That's fair.
Back to throw. Pressure comes. That throw is complete. And that'll be a first down. That's Gregory Genross, the first time we've called the tight end's name today. And he's got some great size to him. 6'6", 230 from New York City.
I'll tell you what, Jefferson looks very good in the pocket making these throws. And a guy that we kind of had pegged as more of the threat on with his feet has done a great job leading this team with his arm.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Matt, I think, at the end of the day, I can't speak for the Dodge City coach, but with what he's done as they hand it off to Wilson, Wilson stood up, maybe lost a yard. And that was a great play by Nate exposing the running back there. I know that was a line you wanted to use.
Yeah, no, that's good. Good use of it.
Thank you.
Let it slide for that.
Thank you. You can have the next one.
Yeah, somebody. I mean, I just keep waiting. Something's got to happen. A break for Coffeyville, or this is just going to continue to be a rough game.
Well, my point though, over the last quarter and a half, I can't speak for the Dodge City coach, but I think they found their starting quarterback.
Yeah, I think so.
Jefferson back to throw. A little bit of pressure, but he's looking left, and he overthrows Thomas there. A rare misfire there from Jefferson. So 3rd down and 10 from the 18, and this feels like a must. You have to get the stop here for Coffeyville.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep the field position on your side. Keep time on your side. Get the ball back to the offense.
Something exciting needs to happen. That's what we're missing on this Coffeyville side. Nothing exciting has really happened for the Red Ravens.
3rd down, Jefferson back to throw. Pressure comes. He steps away. Jefferson rolling, looking, trying to get away, and now finally throws. It's batted away, incomplete. Adrian Patterson again, Matt Jordan.
Yeah, great defense. I mean, Jefferson got out, got free. The wide receiver tried to get some space, and Patterson stayed stuck right to him.
That is picture-perfect coverage by Adrian Patterson. Stayed attached to the hip the whole play and did not lay a finger on him to get called for PI.
Yeah, great coverage, and then good job by the defensive back there to kind of make Jefferson decide that he needed to throw the football and not take off and run.
Well, on a night where there's not been a lot of highs for the Red Ravens, one of those highs has been Patterson's emergence as maybe CB1 for this Red Raven team.
He's looked good.
They try to send the house and block that kick. It is a short kick, and it will bounce off of a Dodge City player and be down at the 36.
Well, good.
Is it where they first touch it? I don't know the rule on that.
Where they first touch it. Good opportunity here for Coffeyville, who has, I think this is their best starting field position of the night.
It looks like the officials are not going to place the ball where it went off the back. They're going to place it where it was picked up, so that gives the Ravens an extra 6 yards or so.
Now they move it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
where it hits.
well,
it's a dead ball right there.
As you could tell with my voice, as soon as I see the ball go off somebody on a punt, I get excited because I think fumble. And I was like, wait, it was the same team.
It was the same team. It's a dead ball right there immediately.
Yeah. Okay. Oppo in the pistol. Ravens starting at the Dodge 41. Feels like a must-score drive here for Coffeyville. Looking left. Pass is complete. And Young fighting for yardage. He'll get about 8.
It's about the cleanest pass we've seen tonight outside of those big ones over the middle to Speed Johnson. A guy that was involved a lot last week, we have not said his name yet, is Ransom.
Yeah. Yeah, and come to think of it, I haven't really seen him on the field much tonight.
He's out there now. I just noticed he's on the far side.
Yep, over there with Young. And on the near side, it is the tight end, Breck Long. I believe that's Wiggins behind Oppo in the backfield. 2nd down and 2 for the Ravens. Fake the handoff. Oppo pressure coming. Hit from behind. And they're going to call it incomplete. Now, I do believe it was incomplete. But a little worrisome that the Ravens were very late to react to that.
Right. And it's good that he got rid of it. You know, don't want to take the sack and turn a 2nd short into a 3rd and long. Got to think you go with the run here. But Dodge is going to be expecting it.
And a timeout taken by Jeff Leiker. 7:15 to go, 3rd quarter. Ravens down 13-3. A big 3rd down and 1 coming up. Let's step away for 30 seconds. We'll be right back.
I
believe that's Wiggins behind Oppo in the backfield. 2nd down and 2 for the Ravens. Fake the handoff. Oppo pressure coming.
In many cases, long-term care insurance or other sources provide assistance with the cost. Home is where the help is. Call Windsor Place At Home Care, 800-982-1866.
Back here at the vet, Red Ravens down 13-3, big 3rd down. A little bit of an upset alert in week 1.
Yeah, they do not look good, Shay. It's not been a fun one to kind of watch off to the side as I watch another not fun one in front of me.
I'm starting to think you're the problem.
Yeah, if I seem a little agitated, it's probably because I'm watching both my teams play poorly.
This is coming after Field Kinley lost a tough one to Mulvane. Again, I'm starting to think that it might be the Matt Jordan curse. Oppo on 3rd down. They hand it off up the middle. Dodge anticipated it, but he's going to drive the feet, and it's going to be close. I think they're going to mark him a little bit short.
Yeah, they're going to mark him short of the line of scrimmage.
Oh.
They made him lose a yard.
How about
it's
that?
4th and 2.
Well, then he was about to lose about 3 because he did drive the feet forward. That's just another big play by the Dodge defense. 6:47 to go, 3rd quarter. Ravens facing a 4th and 2. And the Ravens have to find a way to scratch some momentum in this one. Oppo sends Breck Long in motion. Long right behind the line of scrimmage. They snap it to Long. A little bit of a trick play there, and I think it might have moved the chains.
That's the Breck Long, a high school quarterback in his senior season, playing 8-man football for Sedan, was one of the best 8-man football players in his senior season. Did a lot of running the football for the Blue Devils, and that time a good play call, motioning him over under center.
Are we going to have a chain measurement here?
I think he got it.
They have not moved the chains yet. They have not moved the chains yet. We might have a measurement here. And they are going to measure it, Matt. I think he got it, but we will have to wait. They are giving us some suspense.
I mean, it looks like they got it.
It looks like half the football's above it.
Yeah.
And it is a 1st down.
Yeah, easily. Half the football length or more.
Got it by about a half a yard.
That's good for a Red Raven.
And that's a first down they had to have. And they pull a play out. They pull a play out of their bag of tricks.
I like it. It's a good play call.
Matt Jordan approving of a play call. That's rare.
We got the Matt Jordan stamp of approval. You know, it's.
He was voted by some the third best commentator in the state, behind Mitch Holthus and Wyatt Thompson.
Hey, that's. I'll take that every day of the week.
As you should. I'd be a waiter for those two. Oppo in the gun, first down, Red Ravens, back to throw. Gets some time, looking down the field, broken up. Will the flag come? It will not. Now, they must be ruling that wasn't catchable, Matt, because the Dodge City corner definitely ran into.
Well, I think part of the reason it wasn't catchable is because Joseph Young wasn't allowed to get back to the ball.
Exactly.
There was a really bad missed PI at the end of the game last week. And that
felt like a bad missed PI there.
I don't like that no call.
It's hard to make a pass catchable when you can't get to the ball. Second down and 10, Oppo in the pistol from the 31-yard line. They fake the handoff, now looking on the slant, and it's caught. And Young has a big gain, breaks a tackle, still on his feet, reverses field. Joseph Young, touchdown Ravens.
That's what he does. He did it so many times last year. Very good at getting into the open field. He just has a nose for the end zone.
He fought off 4 Conquistador defenders, and the Ravens get the play that keeps him in it. And that is huge. Dodge City's defense had been controlling this game for more than a quarter, Matt Jordan. And as we've said, college football, the beauty of it, one play is all it takes.
That might be exactly what this team needs to wake them up offensively. It was good to get him back after the injury last week, and he gets the first touchdown of the game here for the Red Ravens.
That's an incredible play. I'm glad we're at home so you can see that on the Red Raven Sports Network. What great toughness, strength, balance by Joseph Young. Touchdown. Extra point here coming. Snap, hold, kick is good. Ravens in the end zone. Connor Oppo to Joseph Young, and Young makes some defenders miss and finds the end zone. Ravens within 3. We're back in 60 seconds on US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
Stock with all your summer favorites, like the 17.5s Captain Morgan, Cheetos, and Crown. Pick up Captain Morgan's Tropical Punch, just $6.25, a savings of $15.74. Watch for more upcoming tastings at Gillen's Liquor, 1713 West 8th Street in Coffeyville.
Make your home more comforting with help from Derailed Commodity. Update your flooring with the area's largest selection of in-stock carpet, luxury vinyl plank, tile, area rugs, and more in many styles, brands, and colors. New furniture always brightens a home. We have a great selection of furniture, including sofa sets, recliners, and mattresses. Economy to premium, in stock and ready to brighten your home. Shop now at your local Derailed Commodity Flooring and Furniture, Brazelton in Independence, Kansas, and Joplin and Butler, Missouri.
6.5 quarters into the season, and the Red Raven offense did not have much to celebrate, but Joseph Young makes a catch over the middle, breaks a couple tackles, finds the end zone, and like you said, Matt Jordan, that could be the play that wakes the Ravens up.
Well, I said we needed something exciting to happen, and that was exciting.
Line drive kick, we'll take a Raven hop, and now we'll go out of bounds.
That's tough. It's like they can't get out of their own way.
Well, that's the second time in 2 weeks they've had a kick go out of bounds.
Right after a big touchdown, and then you're going to give them great starting field position.
That's just sloppy football. Jeff Leiker not happy about it. He's having a couple words with his kicker there.
Kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
Happy with a lot of stuff
First
that's going
down,
on there.
That's true.
In the first 2 games of the year.
The season not been off the best start for blood pressure for Jeff Leiker.
What a weekend of football it's been. Some great high school football action last night. Kansas Jayhawks win their first game of the year. Kansas State on their way to winning their first game of the year. Now the Red Ravens in a tight one with Dodge City. I mean,
Chiefs get it started on Thursday against the Lions, coming off a Super Bowl.
What more could a football fan ask for?
Yeah.
Back to throw as Jefferson. Pressure comes, and Jefferson is tripped up. And
tackle by number 40.
But the Ravens finally get home. First one there was Jamel Phils-Eim, the defensive lineman. We'll call it a 2nd and 10, and that shows off the athleticism of Jefferson. That should have lost 5 yards, and he fought his way back to the line.
Yeah, it was a good play by the Coffeyville defense, but at the same time, Jefferson just to turn it into a no gain. Big time.
We might be watching the emergence of one of the best young quarterbacks in this conference. This is one heck of a player. Jefferson this time hands it off to Wilson. Wilson breaks the first tackle, and he's got a first down across the 45, gain of 12.
Good, strong run that time, and answers after the kind of negative play there by Coffeyville's defense, forcing the offense into a no gain, and it picks up a big 12 yards.
First down, Dodge City, under 5 to go, 3rd quarter. Jefferson gets the snap at his own 47. Ravens sending pressure again. Jefferson again in trouble, and he's sacked. Coffeyville gets home. And the sack was by Kyle Bryant, the sophomore. The spin move on the edge, that's what really trapped Jefferson there. Pretty play. As we wait for this next play, Matt, you know how good of a year it's been for Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Atlanta Braves. He just hit a ball 121.4 miles per hour.
Good night. That's fast.
That's a very hard hit ball, like top 5 of all time. They've dumped it out in the flats here on 2nd down. The Raven defense ready for it. No gain, and 3rd and long coming up for the Conquistadors. Coffeyville's defense has found a little bit of a spark on this drive. And maybe that big touchdown play to Young has got the whole team feeling a little bit better about themselves.
Still have a big 3rd down. I know it's 3rd and long, 3rd and 16, but you do not want to give up a first down on a 3rd and long like this and let that momentum go back over to the Dodge City.
And what we've seen as this game's gone on, you can't let Jefferson get out of the pocket, because when he gets out of the pocket, he extends plays and he makes plays. Back to throw. Ravens send pressure again over the middle. It's caught. What a catch by Powell. And he's off to the races, and he is going to go. Touchdown, Dodge City.
Instead, you couldn't let them pick up the first down, and they did it even worse. They let him score the touchdown.
And that was not the greatest play by Jefferson. He threw it high. That was just an outstanding play by Curry Powell. Going up, getting it, and taking it the distance.
Athleticism at work there, and we've seen Powell earlier in this game have a really good athletic play, and that time bails out his quarterback, scores a touchdown.
So Dodge City responds to the Coffeyville touchdown. They find the end zone, and they're back up by 2 scores. Extra point is up and good. 3:29 to go, 3rd quarter. Dodge City back in the end zone. They lead it 20-10. Ravens in danger of starting the year 0-2. We'll be back in 60 seconds. US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
A heaping bowl loaded with refried beans, Mexicali rice, cheddar jack sour cream, and tender filet mignon. It's filet mignon. Filet mignon. Filet mignon. Filet mignon. Filet mignon. Savor the juicy filet ole steak bowl, stacked with filet mignon, and only from Taco Mayo. That's a wrap. No, that's a bowl.
Got a car? Maybe a motorcycle or even a boat. Do you rent or own your own home? If you have any of these, call NDB in Coffeyville and then relax. NDB can protect your assets and save you money. They represent numerous insurance companies so that they can help you find the right insurance at the right price for you. NDB at 812 West 11th in Coffeyville. Call Ben Vietz at 620-251-1970 and relax.
Kickoff from Dodge. They lead it 20-10 here late 3rd quarter. This one taken by the Ravens and returned up to about the 24-yard line where the Ravens will take over. They had the big touchdown to Joseph Young, but the answer to Curry Powell for Dodge.
Now the offense has to step back up and try to cut it back to 3, a 1-score game, and we'll see if it just starts becoming teams taking blow for blow.
And Matt, Ravens fans don't want to hear this from me right now, and I do apologize the way that this is probably going to come out. But, for being a broadcaster that's just excited that football season's back, we've been fortunate to call 2 really good football games so far this year.
Yeah, we have. I agree. And 3, even though
absolutely
last night was a loss.
Handoff up the middle, and I believe that's Trey Jones fighting for yardage. He's going to get about 8 yards. That's going to be, that was Smith on the handoff, and it is a first down. Zario Smith.
Strong run by Zario.
A lot of running backs, hard to keep track of them.
Yeah, hey, it's constantly changing. You never know who might be in the back.
I'm waiting to see one of those wide receiver sweeps to Young or Speed Johnson.
Right.
Because that could be in the folds as well. Ravens with a first down at the 34-yard line. Oppo in the gun, hands it off to Smith again. Smith, big hole. Smith up the middle, gets a block, fighting his way, still going up to the 48-yard line. And Azario Smith, the last 2 plays, has run like a bull for Coffeyville.
Yeah, 2 big runs. That's exactly what this offense needs. And now, offense starting to figure things out a little bit.
And Matt Jordan, for a guy with such good lower body strength and the ability to drive forward like Smith has, he hits top speed fast.
Well,
he got through that offensive line, and he was off to the races.
Yeah, running downhill, he's just somebody you don't want to be in front of, and he was real close to breaking a tackle and maybe taking that to the house.
First down, Ravens at their own 49-yard line. 2 plays, 2 first downs. Oppo in the gun, back to throw. Now looking for the outside throw. It's there, and it's caught. Broken tackle, gain of about 6 yards on first down. A little bit of a shove there after the play, but no flag.
Another one to Joseph Young, and Young made the first guy miss, and he's just so hard to tackle in the open field.
That was Kenyon Hunter who made the shove after the play. He led the team for Dodge last week with 10 tackles. Has not had quite as many tonight. Tried to get one after the whistle, and lucky he didn't get 15 yards for it. So 2nd down and 4 for the Ravens. They are at the Dodge City 45-yard line. Playing a little bit up-tempo here, late 3rd quarter, 1:19 to go in this 3rd. Ravens down 20-10. Oppo back to throw, fakes the handoff. Now looking deep, down the field, one-on-one, and it's overthrown and intercepted. And running out of the end zone and across the 20, Dodge City's going to have a return here across the 40. And it was tackled at the 42-yard line. Oppo overthrew the one-on-one. It was picked off. And that was Bobby Arnold III with the interception. Arnold's off to a heck of a start to the season. Last week had 4 tackles and 2 forced fumbles. Now he has a big interception here this week.
The corner looked like the wide receiver there. He saw that ball was going to be well overthrown. He turned on the jets and made himself in a good position to come away with the catch. Flag comes out late.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Return team number 3.
It's going to be
15-yard
unsportsmanlike
penalty
conduct against Dodge. It will not take away the
first
interception.
Down, Dodge City. That is number 3's first unsportsmanlike foul of the game.
For Dodge.
Still got to feel pretty good, though, about what just happened after it looked like Coffeyville picked up some momentum offensively and just take it all away on the bad throw and interception.
Yeah, and I like the idea. After running the ball well a couple plays, I like the idea of play action, going for a deep shot, but just did not execute the throw. So they'll start on their own 27-yard line. 1 minute exactly to go in the 3rd quarter. Pistol handoff to Stone Wilson. Wilson trying to get to the outside right. He's got a gain of about 5.
Tackle by number 1, Jabari Tiller.
Tiller made the stop.
Oh, Coffeyville's defense again. Try to get the ball back for them. And, you got to think you're not going to feel too good if Dodge scores and makes it a 17-point game.
No, you are not. And that. Obviously, all turnovers feel big, but that one feels extra big here, late in this 3rd quarter. Outside throw, caught. Spinning is Campbell, and Campbell has himself a first down. Javon Campbell. Wrapped up by Patterson.
Patterson been very active tonight.
He has. I think the Dodge City offense is going to call it a quarter there. 3 quarters in the books. Dodge City 20, Red Ravens 10. Coffeyville has 15 minutes to try to avoid an 0-2 start. We'll see if they can respond. Fourth quarter starts in 60 seconds on US 98 and the Red Ravens Sports Network.
Your Ravens 10, Conquistadors 20.
Care close to home. From a routine colonoscopy to a life-saving mastectomy, the general surgeons at CRMC are equipped to handle many types of surgical procedures. For more information, call CRMC Medical Group at 620-252-1639.
Romans Chevrolet, your Silverado City, appreciates our area educators. Right now, Romans and Independence are offering $500 cash bonus to all educators. If you are an educator and you need a new or newer vehicle, stop by Romans for details on this amazing bonus. Romans deeply appreciates your service to the community and all you do to shape the future for your students. Reap the rewards at Romans Chevrolet, 2313 West Main in Independence. Call 620-331-4700. Find new roads.
Fourth quarter getting started here at the Vet. Ravens down 20-10 on the home opener against Dodge City. I'm Shane Hill, Matt Jordan alongside with me. US 98, the Red Raven Sports Network, where you can find us. And make sure you stay tuned after the game is over for the Red Raven post-game show. Jefferson back to throw. Pump fakes, now taking a shot deep down the field and just out of reach of Campbell. Campbell had a step. Jefferson did not miss him by much. I'll tell you what, early on in this game, the first couple plays, the fumbles, we didn't really get to see Trevon Jefferson at his best. We have over the last 2 quarters, and he's not, I mean, for the mobile guy, he's got quite the arm on him.
Yeah, he looks good just in all aspects.
Second down and 10 from their own 39 for Dodge. Jefferson gets the snap, looking left. It's a dump off to Campbell. Campbell trying to get outside. He's chased down by Tiller. It's a gain of about 7, and it will be third down and 3 for the Dodge City Conquistadors.
Big third down. Starting short, but still got to come with a stop here. 4-3 and out. Get the ball back.
Lampton heads off the field. Ravens needing some sort of third down play here. Ravens nearly jumped offside but got back in time. Jefferson in the pistol. Moves his receivers around. 4 on the play clock. And a timeout will be taken.
Dodge knows it's a big third down. They won't talk it over.
Coffeyville needing a stop. Dodge with a chance to really put the Ravens back against the wall. And it looks like Oklahoma State's finally picked it up a little bit for you, Matt.
Yes, thankfully. I don't know if I could have handled
lost to Central Arkansas.
Phil Kinley, CCC, and Oklahoma State loss.
Well, because your Rams aren't going to help much.
No, they're not. That's why I have fantasy football, Shane. Hopefully I have some good teams for that.
Don't blame you. Chiefs will take on the Lions to start the season. I think
first game of the season.
We're gonna try. We're gonna try. I can't promise anything, but we're gonna try on Thursday, the day of the Chiefs season opener. We're gonna try and get our good friend Parker Testa on the morning show. See if he can talk a little Chiefs football with us. Because I know there's a lot of Chiefs fans excited for that season opener.
Yes,
that Lions team, that's not a team you can sleep on. That's a good football team.
Some people think they'll win that division.
I'm one of them. I like that Detroit team. I think they're well coached. I think they finally have the talent in place. It's the first time out for Dodge. Now third down and 3.
Big third down.
Jefferson in the shotgun. He's got a running back to his right, 2 wide receivers to his right as well. Looking to the right side. It's intercepted! Picked off! A pick 6 for the Ravens! Maybe saves the season! Touchdown!
Jabari Tiller proving why he should wear number 1 and be a critical part.
And he's
the
got
veteran steps up.
He's got to be careful, Matt. He ripped that helmet off as soon as he scored, and got to make sure you don't get that excessive celebration penalty. But I think he's okay now that he's on the sideline. What a play by Jabari Tiller. Read it the whole way. They've been attacking those outside routes all second half. Tiller jumps underneath it, and he's got game-changing speed. That's a house call.
Yeah, that was, I mean, you knew once he read that route and stepped in front of it, he was gone.
So the big touchdown to Joseph Young. A pick 6 by Jabari Tiller. Extra point is on its way. And good. Ravens has not been pretty, Matt. Has not been pretty at all. But a couple big plays, and they find themselves down just 3. 14 minutes to go. Again, like we said last week against Highland, even when it feels like almost everything's gone wrong, the talent of this football team, the coaching, the leadership of Jeff Leiker, this team will always have a chance to win.
Absolutely, and that's the exact thing that they needed. The first defensive score of the season, and that is what has been their bread and butter the last 2 years.
As good as Adrian Patterson's been tonight, if the Ravens find a way to win this game, I think we just had a lock for player of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Adrian. Better luck next week.
Yeah, we'll see how this game continues to go. But, yeah, Tiller kind of...
Maybe Patterson has to get a pick 6 to kind of match it.
Yeah, that would be great. I would love that.
That would pull him back ahead. 13:58 to go. Ravens kick team still not out on the field. There we go. That was a very weird scene there for a second, where Dodge City was completely ready for the return and nobody on the kick team was out yet. I don't think you see that very often.
No, you don't normally see the other way around, to be honest.
Last time
celebrating.
When the last time Coffeyville had the big touchdown, Dodge responded very quickly with a big touchdown. Now the Raven defense needs to step up, make a play.
The only downside of a defensive touchdown, at least that wasn't a long methodical drive, the drive before by Dodge, but it put your defense right back out on the field without a break.
We'll send it deep. Taken at the 9-yard line by Thomas. Thomas works his way back right, crossing the 15-yard line, gets a block, and he's brought down about the 21 by a group of Ravens. Matt, something to keep an eye on. I'm not saying that Dodge is about to, melt down here in the fourth quarter, because they played a great football game. But when it started to fall off the rails for them against Iowa Western is when they threw an interception in the fourth quarter.
Yes, that they kind of had that game looking like
they were driving, they had a huge play. They were about to take the lead, and then turnover cost them.
The last 2 years, Coffeyville's defense, that Thanos, fine, I'll do it myself. That's kind of what Coffeyville's defense has had to be the last couple of years, and it kind of felt like that was this step this year where the big play.
Wilson gets a handoff, and he's flipped upside down. I think he stayed on his feet, so he's tackled again, but it's a gain of about 4 yards. It's honestly, Ravens were smart and tackled him again just to be safe, but the way he got kind of flipped upside down, Matt, it's probably for the best that he landed on his feet.
Yeah, he never fun, I don't think. I can't imagine what it would feel like to be flipped upside down like that, but I can't imagine it's fun.
Well, do you remember imagine being John Elway on that play where he was helicoptered and kind of just landed, and it was like, whoa. I'm sure he thought, midway through the air, I'm sure he thought, this is it. I'm breaking my neck, but right. I'm scoring, but I'm breaking my neck.
We do have an injury on the field. It's like a Conquistador player is down. No, it's a Red Raven.
There's a Red Raven down, like you said, as they attend to him. 13.5 to go, 20-17 our score. Now looking back at the keys to the game, Matt, I'd say they've been there but inconsistent. They scored first. They did do that. Established the run. It's been in and out, I feel like. Winning at the line of scrimmage has been in and out. And maybe that pick 6 helps them ride the home wave. But still a chance to pull this one out. I'm sure, a couple minutes ago when Dodge City had the ball up by 10 points, Red Ravens weren't feeling too great. Now all of a sudden this completely flipped upside down.
Momentum can change pretty quickly in a game like this, especially when you're at home. And we'll see what it looks like the rest of the way. Looks like maybe a serious injury.
Yeah, it sure does. Not something you definitely don't want to see if you're a fan of either of these teams. But especially Coffeyville. 20-17 our score. Let's get you some scores from around the Jayhawk Conference tonight. A lot of action going on in the KJCCC, of course, as we continue week 2. Hutchinson all over Ellsworth, 72-7, the final score. Iowa Central beats Garden City 30-20. Butler 29-13 over Highland. So Highland has started to pull back into that game a little bit. 29-13. And Iowa Western and Garden next week's game starts it off. We're going to have an interesting game next week. Hutch, who's looked so dominant in their first 2 games, they have to go on the road to Iowa to take on Iowa Central. So that'll be a pretty good game next week. We'll see how legit Iowa Central is, and we'll see how Hutch fares with their with one of their first tough road trips of the year.
That was Jamil Filisame, who was hurt that time, but hopped off the field.
And outside they complete it to Thomas, and that's going to get a first down for Dodge City.
Pass complete to number 1, Cameron Thomas.
So first down at the 35-yard line. We are down to 12:52 to go in this one. Ravens down 20-17. Hand off Stone Wilson. Wilson will get about 3 yards again. He's really, you know, Matt, we came into tonight expecting to see a heavy dose of Jalen Smith, who was really the star in week 1. He had over 100 yards and an 88-yard touchdown. And it's been the Stone Wilson show tonight.
Yeah, it has. And honestly, yes, it's been the Stone Wilson show as far as carries, but it's been the Jefferson show.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what this game has come down to, how well the quarterback has played for the Comps.
Second down and 7 from the 38. This time Jefferson keeps it, makes a defender miss. Took a pretty hard hit right on the ball, was able to hold on to it. The way that defender came in, I thought he might have a chance to poke that ball out.
Another big third down coming up here.
Ravens are going to have about a 3rd and 4 to try and defend. This is a dangerous spot because this, the way that Dodge has played tonight, you feel like they could run or pass here. They could do either.
Yeah, quarterback run, hand off, or...
So we'll see what they decide. Jefferson looking, running out of time, and he tried to pull it in. It came out at the last second. He was nearly, for the second time in this second half, bailed out by a great catch. This time, though, it comes out, and Dodge will have to punt.
Well, he was hit as he threw, and that caused that ball to, I think, sail on him a bit. And then almost coming away with it was the wide receiver. But a good job by the Coffeyville defensive back there to kind of knock that loose ball free.
And let me tell you, Matt, if it's too high for the 6'7" Gregory Gengros, it's probably too high for anybody. Scoreboard just died for a second there, but we're back.
It does that sometimes.
Yeah. Ooh, a little bit of a flutter on the snap. They do get it off, and it's a great punt. It does take a bit of a Coffeyville bounce. Ravens will start about the 15-yard line, but that was absolutely belted by the punter.
Yeah, great punt. And honestly, I mean, we were told about all the punting woes. I think they averaged like 23 yards a punt last week. The punting woes are over.
That might be the best punt I've seen all year.
Yeah.
He hammered that. And he angled it towards the sideline away from Crenshaw. So he not only hammered it, he also was accurate with it. Ravens will start about the 14-yard line. 11:21 to go. And Matt, you know, sneakily, doesn't feel this way. The Ravens can take the lead on this drive.
Which is crazy to say.
First down, they will hand it off. A little bit of room as he works his way up to the 20-yard line. That's Wiggins. Gain of about 6.
They've certainly looked better in this fourth quarter than they had in the previous 3.
Pick 6 will help with that.
Pick 6 does help with that. We'll see if the offense can reward again the defense and get them at least their first lead since 3-0.
Coffeyville's defense has played a pretty good game for the second straight week. Second down and 4 after the 6-yard run by Amiri Wiggins. Oppo in the pistol. Takes the snap, hand off, runs into his blocker, and now going backwards, and Dodge plugs that up. Weird play there.
Handoff to number 28.
Ran right into the back of his own blocker. Luckily, it was they stopped forward progress, so it's only third and a little longer than what it could have been because he was 6 or 7 yards past the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they'll call it 3rd and 7 from the 17-yard line. When you're right, it could have been 3rd and 12 because he didn't really stop going until he was at the 10 or so. 10 minutes to go in this one. Ravens with a huge 3rd down and 7. Down by 3. Connor Oppo in the shotgun. Man in motion is Jaden Dozier. Oppo, instant pressure, rolls left. He's got a lane. Connor Oppo showing the speed. First down. But a flag late.
Number 3, Connor Oppo.
They do mark him short.
That's a penalty.
See what the call is.
Where'd they mark him? They mark him a yard short?
I think they did.
Maybe a holding call?
Well, we're having some mixed feelings up here in the box. I'm hearing some holds. I'm hearing some offsides.
Holding.
Yep.
Offense.
a hold.
Number 71. Half the distance to the goal. Replay 3rd down.
Mitchie Joseph, the freshman from Galveston, Texas.
That'll back him up inside the 10.
Joseph, the
Makes it 3rd and 15.
Joseph playing left guard.
Offensive line was something that this team thought they had, was a really good unit. And,
they haven't had the best night.
Had the best night, no.
Crenshaw in motion, now 3rd down and 15. Oppo back to throw. Steps up, fires, it's tipped up in the air, and intercepted. And that's going to be Kenyon Hunter. He had 10 tackles last week, hasn't had a ton of tackles tonight, but he does come up with a big-time interception.
Yeah, little tip drill interception that gives Dodge great field position to the 31-yard line. And I'm kind of over Connor Oppo.
Yeah, you got to think, well, I mean, it was not a great decision.
I haven't. He didn't play great last week. I let a couple of things go because of drops and whatnot, but I'm kind of over Connor Oppo. I've not liked what I've seen from him. The decision-making hasn't been there. And I was told they trusted other quarterbacks on this roster, so let somebody else get a shot. We'll see. But yeah, this has not been a good one for Oppo.
We'll see. Jefferson in the pistol, 1st down. They hand it off up the middle. Not much there, about a 2-yard gain. That handoff was to number 12. That's number 17, I think, but that number doesn't exist on Dodge's roster. Is this our first case of the mystery player tonight?
Maybe. Oh, wait, yes. 17 is Mike Jones.
There you go, Mike Jones. And Jefferson hit as he throws. We'll see, did they call him down? They sure did. It's a sack.
They don't have a number 5 away jersey. So 5 on the roster is also 17.
Gotcha. Oh, I see what you're, yep.
There was something
Good
mentioned
catch.
pregame about
Good
that,
catch.
and I just happened to remember.
Good catch. Kyle Bryant made the stop, by the way, on that last play. 3rd down coming up for Dodge. It's going to be 3rd and 13.
Big sack, another big 3rd down.
Their kicking has not had a good night.
Nope,
And a false start.
The pressure
it was
showing
Bryant.
blitz.
Yeah, it was Bryant off the edge that made the tackle jump.
Number 55.
5-yard penalty.
Now you're
Still
out of
3rd
field
down.
goal range if you don't pick up any yards here.
It's called on Benjamin Maldonado, the sophomore out of Miami. Jumping prior to the snap. 3rd down and 18 coming up for Dodge. Eight and a half to go. 2017, Conquistadors leading. Facing a 3rd and 18 from the Coffeyville 39. And pressure comes again. Jefferson running for his life. Throwing on the run.
Oh, wow.
There was a violent collision. It was caught. And now it's 4th down and about, they're going to call that 7-8. 4th and 9 is the official call. And they're going to go for it, Matt. They're not.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him for
I don't
going
blame
for
him
this.
either.
I think you'd had to punt had he been sacked there, but you made it 4th and more manageable. It's still 4th and long, 4th and 9. But the way your kicking game has been and the way your defense has played, I go for this.
Well, now Dodge is going to want to think it over. They call timeout. Let's step away for 30 seconds. 4th down and 9. Ravens down 3, trying to get the ball back. We're back in 30 on US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network. Fourth quarter, Red Ravens on defense facing a 4th down and 9 against the Dodge City offense, trying to get a stop. They trail 20-17 late in this one, trying to avoid the 0-2 start. I don't think even Matt Jordan, I don't think even the biggest Coffeyville hater on planet Earth would expect a potential 0-2 start to this year.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. And honestly, Indy looked pretty good against a good Iowa Central team week 1. Like I said, really just gave it to NEO last week. They're not going to be an easy opponent next week. You could look at 0-3 if you don't pick up a win here.
Jefferson back to throw. Pressure comes. Jefferson tries to escape, and he's down, incomplete anyway, and Coffeyville stands tall.
Flag out on the field. We'll see what this is. Could be holding.
It is in the backfield like it would be a hold, but you never know. But it did come in the direction of the offensive line. Now they called holding, and now they're going to confer again.
Holding. Offense.
Holding
number
on the
76.
Offense.
That
Penalty declined.
First
Raven
down,
defense.
Coffeyville.
Big stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have less than 8 minutes remaining in the game. Let's hear it for your Red Raven Spirit Squad.
7:44 left in this one now, Matt. The Ravens will start on their own 31. Down by 3. Connor Oppo does come back out. So Liker showing his trust in Connor Oppo.
I mean, yeah, I said I was over the Connor Oppo experience, but you don't make the change now.
A little bit of a touch pass, and it's Speed Johnson. Bounces off a hit, takes it about 3 yards, but a couple flags in the backfield. Looks like this will be illegal motion, illegal formation, something along those lines. There's 3 flags on the field.
Yeah, I know one is illegal formation. I'm not sure what the other one is.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 men in the backfield. That penalty is declined. Holding. Offense. Number 70. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
That they'll accept. So now 1st and 20 for the Ravens, who another just instance of shooting yourself in the foot.
Penalties against yourself.
So 1st down at the 31 was a pretty good starting spot, but now 1st and 20 from the 21, not ideal. See what the Ravens have up their sleeve.
It is kind of crazy. I feel like this game's out of reach, but it's a 3-point game.
I know. Oppo gets the snap, handoff, and Wiggins up to about the 23, gain of about 2.
With 2nd and 19, you've got 7:30 left here in this game. You're going to have to start taking some shots down the field. And we've seen the receivers be there. We've seen some bad throws, overthrows, underthrows, and a couple interceptions by Connor Oppo. But I think at some point you got to trust either the big guys or the speedy guys and take some shots down the field.
7 minutes to go. Ravens facing 2nd down and 19, trailing by 3. Oppo in the shotgun, running back to his left. Back to throw. Oppo, clean pocket, steps up, fires over the middle, deflected. Nearly caught off the deflection by Wiggins, but it falls incomplete.
Speed Johnson again wants a flag and not getting one. I didn't see what looked like pass interference, but
we nearly had a Franco Harris-esque play there.
We did.
That ball went flying in the air and nearly fell right into the arms of Amiri Wiggins. 3rd down and 19 here. See what the Ravens draw up. Oppo in the shotgun, running back to his left, 2 wide receivers to his right. Oppo back to throw, feels the pressure, running for his life, and he will be sacked. Dodge City with a big 3rd down stuff. The Ravens backed up, 4th down, and they really have no choice but to boot it now.
Yeah, you have to punt it here. Have to punt it here and hope your defense can come up with another big stop. You've asked them time and time again, and they've done it for the most part so far. Trailing by 3 with just over 6 minutes left in this one.
So 4th and 32 from the 9. Oh, how this, I think it's 4th and 32 from the 9. How this drive unfolded was wild. Holding penalty, the sack. Clean snap. Kick. Decent one. Fair caught at about the 43. And Dodge will start in plus territory.
Fair catch by number 1.
Now, another thing to keep in mind that we've said a couple times tonight. Dodge City has had absolute misery kicking the ball this year, including tonight. Missed extra point, a missed field goal. So
it's touchdown or bust.
You get to a 4th down, and I don't know if Dodge is kicking it.
Yeah, it's touchdown or bust, or it's, I think at this point, unless they go backwards a bit here, I think they're going for it. It's 4-down territory all the way through. And like you were saying, that with the trouble with special teams, I think it's touchdown or bust. And so hopefully Coffeyville can come away with a stop and get the ball back and try to take the win.
Right. Well, we're at the point now, low snap. And they do get the handoff off to Wilson, and he ends up getting about 7 yards.
Carried by number 22, Stone Wilson.
We're at the point now with 5.5 to go. Ravens have already used a timeout. If Dodge finds the end zone here, this is nearly over.
Yeah. I mean, I would say a touchdown is the dagger. Anything less than that, you still feel comfortable despite kind of the lack of rhythm on offense. But anything can change in a play. We already saw Jabari Tiller take one that made this a 3-point game.
20-17 our score. Jefferson, another low snap. Gets the handoff again to Wilson. Wilson bouncing outside. Hurdles a defender. And he's fighting his way down inside the 20. Stone Wilson, explosive out of the backfield. 1st down Dodge.
Tackled by a block of Ravens.
2 plays, they're in the red zone.
Yeah, and it's, like I said, 4-down territory the way through. Touchdown, I think, puts us in out of reach for Coffeyville, so defense has to keep them out of the end zone here.
Tiller, Patterson, and Pearson, of course, the 3 sophomore defensive backs. Another handoff up the middle. Wilson stays on his feet. Touchdown, Dodge City. Stone Wilson does it himself. And the Dodge kid might have run the Conquistadors into a victory.
Yeah, I think that's probably the dagger, and the flag comes out late, probably excessive celebration. But so the touchdown will stand, but that's just tough for Coffeyville. I mean, the run game just absolutely destroying them on that drive.
4:21 to go. Extra point try coming from Dodge, which is not guaranteed. 26-17 our score now with the extra point pending. Snap is probably the best one of the day. The kick goes wide right. Another missed kick. 9-point game, 26-17. Ravens down by 9. They're going to need some sort of miracle. We're back in 60 seconds on US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
This is Community State Bank at work. This is Community State Bank at work in our community. From kids' activities to school programs to funding home and business loans, every day Community State Bank is at work in our neighborhood. Whether you bank at Community State Bank or not, they're working for you every day. Community State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I'm Mike Avey, and at Community State Bank, we believe in Coffeyville.
You have a choice on where to go and who you want to be. Here at Coffeyville Community College, you can be you. We can make you workforce ready at one of our technical campuses, be a student athlete, join an honors program or an activity, have a voice with student government, and be involved with student life events. Our school believes in our red and white traditions, providing you with a quality education and preparing you for the next journey in life. Once you experience our campus, you know you've made the right choice. Let us help you make our story your story and become Raven proud.
At the 16-yard line as we return 26-7. Dodge City leads 4-13 to go. Now we're at the easiest breakdown of the football game that we've been at all night. Ravens got to score. This is over.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be. It's really over if you can't get any point. It doesn't matter where you're at on the field. Doesn't matter what the down and distance is. 4 down territory.
Oppo in the gun, running back to his right, 3 wide receivers to his left. Handoff to Azario Smith. And a big hit. About the 22, they whistle him down. Smith thought he was still up.
Run by number 6, Azario Smith.
He took a hit.
Look at that elbow was down.
I applaud the effort.
Absolutely.
Gain of 4 on the play, 2nd down and 6. Throwing outside, and Ransom makes the catch, but that clock keeps on moving, Matt. 3.5 to go. And for the gains they're getting, you either have to take short gains and stop the clock, or get big gains if the clock's going to run.
Absolutely.
The Ravens have gotten 5 yards in 2 plays and burned a full minute of clock.
Not ideal when you're down 9 in the last quarter and you need points. I don't really see much of a sense of urgency, and the plays certainly aren't being called that way.
3 minutes to go now. Clock continues to wind. Oppo back to throw, looking. Ransom pulls it in right around the 1st down marker.
Pass complete to number 14, Richard Ransom.
They're going to call it 4th and short.
This is the game. And we're huddling. You're down 9 points, and you're huddling.
2.5 to go.
With 2.5 to go.
.220 to go now. Ravens on 4th down, trying to pick it up, and I don't know if he got it.
And you run the ball. This play calling is not good. This play calling was not great last week. It's not been good this game. The decision making on this drive.
Questionable at best,
yeah,
and baffling at worst.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I'm disappointed in the way the season has started. And he's short. Yep. He'll turn it over. That's the ball game.
That is the ball game.
Dodge can come out, run some clock, and take that
down.
long drive back to Dodge. Much happier than had this game gone the other way.
I can't imagine how bad that drive would have been if they lost.
Right? You got to think they at least stay the night.
You got to think the poor.
Well, I actually can kind of tell you, because it was not quite as long, but the 4-hour drive last week didn't feel great.
No, it didn't.
And then Panda didn't have the food I wanted.
No,
so
they did not.
It really is just like insult to injury last week.
No, you had a tough night.
It was tough, It was tough. I spent 12 hours.
And then you went to Mulvane last night. They just had a place called The Panda.
Well, I spent 12 hours on the road the last 2 weeks to watch 2 heartbreaking losses.
Ball came out. And the Ravens fall on it.
It's not over yet.
Lady ain't singing yet, Matt.
Nope. That'll show me, huh?
Wow.
Declare this game over. And the next thing you know, we got
Who
the ball
says
back.
they're going to have a happy bus ride home?
Yeah, right. We got time. We got time, but I got to see more urgency than I saw on that last drive. No, I mean I need some shots down the field. None of this little dink and dunk stuff. It's past time for that.
Now we're looking for 10, 15, 20-yard plays now. Shotgun snap here for Oppo. Back to throw. Ravens get a second chance at life. Young, what a catch! Into Dodge City territory. Pulls it in. His helmet came off, but the ball was caught.
Joseph Young bailing out his quarterback there. We saw Dodge receiver do it. Clock stops momentarily for reset the chains. Still not a lot of sense of urgency from this offense.
Minute 45 to go. Oppo in the shotgun. Offensive line finally gets set. Snap comes with a minute 41. Oppo back to throw. Shot to the sideline through the hands. Incomplete. Intended receiver Reese Dobar.
Joseph Young come back out on the field after the helmet came off last play. And yeah, that's not too bad. Throw a play on the sideline. If it goes out of bounds, it stops the clock.
Yep.
If you catch it, it stops the clock.
Yeah, that's one of the smartest plays you can do.
Yeah, and there's a good throw by Oppo there. He threw it where only his receiver could come away with a play.
Minute 35 to go. He's got 2 wide receivers on either side. Amiri Wiggins to his left. Now Wiggins moves to his right as they flip the play. Speed Johnson in motion. Oppo takes the snap. Oppo back to throw, stepping up in the pocket. Got to get rid of it, and he's dropped. And that is going to be Alexandre Dedju, the defensive end from France. And timeout taken by the Red Ravens.
Didn't know the French knew how to play this brand of football.
Well, apparently they play it well.
Yeah.
Clutch sack.
There's one there.
Mbappe played the wrong football,
He
man.
must have. You imagine Mbappe breaking free, trying to catch one down the sideline.
It'd be a house call every time.
Yep. Running out of time. Minute 27, down 9.
I would love to hear how a French football player talks trash. I bet it's fantastic.
Because they do have a beautiful language.
They do.
The Germans talk trash real easily because the German language just always sounds angry, So I assume their trash talk is
And I feel like Italians can't talk trash, I feel like, because Italians, everything they say sounds so elegant.
The same with the French. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like the Italian, both very beautiful languages.
3rd down and 12 from the 47-yard line. Ravens down 9, a minute 27 to go. Oppo in the shotgun, 2 wide receivers on either side. Back to throw. Oppo looking down the field, looking on a crossing route. It's broken up, intended for Young. A couple Conquistador defenders collided there. One got up, and one's a little slower to get up. But I think he's a little more upset about not getting the pick.
Well, this again is the game, 4th down.
Unless they fumble again.
Unless they fumble again.
Tell you what, Dodge has not made it pretty tonight. A lot of missed kicks. Couple turnovers, pick six.
Well, that's the unfortunate thing. Dodge has shot themselves in the foot just as much as Coffeyville has, and yet Coffeyville finds himself down 9.
4th down and 12, just across midfield. 4 wide again for Oppo. Back to throw. Connor Oppo looking to the sideline. It is caught out of bounds at the 31, 1st down, and it is the wide receiver Richard Ransom making the big catch to keep the game alive.
Good throw by Oppo there. Put it right where he needed to, picked up the 1st down, and got out of bounds.
To the 31-yard line. And now I think you have 2 options, Matt. You either throw it towards the sideline at about the 10-yard line, or you throw it to the end zone.
Well, also, here's the other question. Where on the field do you go, okay, let's kick the field goal? Because you got to go onside kick no matter what.
Yeah.
You're only down 9. Where do you go, let's kick a field goal? and then see if we can't get the onside kick.
You got to be at least inside the 20. Oppo back to throw, stepping up. Some room. Oppo running left, trying to extend the play. Looking to the end zone. He's got a receiver. Touchdown, Connor Oppo. No, it came out at the last second.
Speed.
Incomplete. Speed Johnson was the target. Oppo did everything right there.
That's a good throw.
And it
Speed
came
just
out.
couldn't hold on. That's twice. Back-to-back weeks that a touchdown has been dropped.
Man. You could maybe argue 3 because of the deep ball to Joseph Young early in this game.
Yeah.
That could have been a house call. Second down and 10 now, minute 7 to go on the 31-yard line.
Didn't survive the ground. He made it. He just couldn't survive the ground with the catch.
It's always the ground.
It causes the most problems, just as Des Bryant.
It does. Des Bryant doesn't want to talk about it.
Neither do Cowboys.
4 wide receivers, 3 of them to the left. Oppo back to throw. Pressure comes again. Oppo gets rid of it. Incomplete. The big number 92, Khalil Petit in there from the Conquistador defense. 6'5", 264. They got a lot of big bodies on the defensive line.
Petite, not really an apropos name there.
No.
He's anything but.
I'd call him Khalil Gigante.
He's a big boy.
Not quite as big as his buddy, number 99, but it's hard to find 6'6", 315 out there.
That's fair.
Third down and 10 for the Ravens. Oppo in the shotgun. Wiggins to his right. Wiggins now in motion. Oppo, flag on the play. Oppo is hit and dropped. And it was 31, Kavion Majors, who had the hit on Oppo. And where this flag was thrown, you got to think it's a hold.
Yeah, the offensive line has really struggled tonight after being one of the better parts.
Especially in the second half.
Yeah, the team last week. Yeah, the second half has definitely not looked good. The run game has not been great.
Holding.
The
Offense,
passing game
number
is struggling.
52. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is a 4th down.
Penalty is declined as it should be. 4th down now coming up for the Ravens. For the 3rd time tonight, this is the game.
I feel like we've said it a lot.
We have. Clock running, 50 seconds to go. .44 seconds left. Oppo in the shotgun. Snap. Oppo back to throw. Pressure coming off the left side. Oppo rolls. Oppo sets the feet. Fires, looking down to the end zone. Off a couple hands. Incomplete. And that's how this one will come to an end. And now the Dodge broadcasters have called game, so I think we can call game too.
Yeah, well, I think it feels good. At least K-State won 45-0.
There you go. Shining moment in a bleak night. We will have the Red Raven postgame show immediately following this one. Now you just have to have one clean snap and take a knee. That's all you got to do. But, Dodge City and snapping the ball seems to be mortal enemies of each other.
Texas State up on Baylor.
Yeah, that's a nice thing.
Butler up 38-19 on Highland. I know there's a lot of game left, a lot of season left, but I think Coffeyville is going to struggle to win a conference game this year. Because on paper, you got the easy opponents you got out of the way early. Now you have to go play Hutch, Indy,
Iowa Western,
Iowa Central,
Ellsworth,
and Garden City, and Butler. Ellsworth is winnable, Indy is winnable, and then you have the 2 out-of-conference games that are very winnable. But it's going to be very hard playing like you played tonight to beat Hutch, to beat Butler, to beat Iowa Central, to beat Iowa Western.
100%. It's going to be a uphill climb for the Red Ravens. Final score 26-17. Dodge comes to Coffeyville and knocks off the Red Ravens. Ravens drop to 0-2. The Red Raven Red Raven postgame show. See, now I'm out of sync. Everything's going on. Red Raven postgame show starts in 60 seconds on US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
shopping, and more. These helpful services are so reasonably priced, you can afford to pay for them yourself. In many cases, long-term care insurance or other sources provide assistance with the cost. Home is where the help is. Call Windsor Place At Home Care, 800-982-1866.
Enjoy the new, cool, refreshing taste of Outlaw Mile High Beer, now available at Gillum Liquor in Coffeyville for just $15.99 for a 24-pack of cans. And ask about their buy one, get one offer on Mile High Beer. And Gillum's is stocked with all your summer favorites, like the 17 Fives, Captain Morgan, Tito's, and Crown. Pick up Captain Morgan's Tropical Punch, just $6.25, a savings of $15.74. Watch for more upcoming tastings at Gillum's Liquor, 1713 West 8th Street in Coffeyville.
Touchdown, Ravens State White.
The Red Ravens postgame show is brought to you by Community State Bank, Coffeyville Community College, Medical Lodge, Gillum Liquor, Derail Commodity, Taco Mayo, Windsor Place at Home Care, NDB of Coffeyville, Coffeyville Regional Medical Center, and Roman Chevrolet.
Final score, 26-17. The Dodge City Conquistadors defeat the Coffeyville Community College Red Ravens here in the home opener at Veterans Memorial Stadium. I'm Shane Neal, Matt Jordan alongside with me. It's the Red Raven postgame show here on US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network. Matt, for the second straight week, we're sitting here frustrated about a team that had opportunities to win a football game and shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities and just bad offense, man. It's just so tough. Bad offense tonight, and that's I think that's the story. Just no rhythm. I mean, we look at the offensive stats. 69 yards rushing, and Oppo is 16 to 35, 2 interceptions at only 146 yards.
Yep.
So I mean, that's just not going to get it done.
No.
At this level against this type of competition, and especially when you look at the other side of things. Jefferson, 20 to 30. He did have the interception, 293 yards and a touchdown.
3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns.
Yeah, absolutely. Trayvon Jefferson was sensational tonight. But something you talked about a lot in the second half, and something I want to touch on was the offensive line. Obviously, like you said, Ravens only averaged about a little over 2 yards a carry on the ground tonight. And their longest run of the night, 15 yards. And then you had, of course, 4 sacks against Connor Oppo. And so after they were pretty good against Highland, I thought, we didn't mention them a bunch, which usually means they're doing their job. Offensive line, especially in the second half tonight, very much struggled. Yeah,
it was a big part of it. Oppo didn't have a lot of time to throw. There wasn't a lot of holes to run, holding calls. It was just a tough night all around. The defense looked good outside of, there are a couple series, but when you're on the field as much as they were, that's all you can expect.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, a lot of improvement needs to be done to this team. And I don't know if it's from a quarterback perspective, a play-calling perspective, or what, but something has to change offensively, or this is going to be a very ugly season for the Red Ravens.
Yeah, it sure is. A couple bright spots tonight. Joseph Young back in the lineup, 5 catches, 75 yards, a touchdown. The touchdown was sensational. And then on defense, we'll get into it a little bit more with our player of the game coming up in part 2 of our post-game show. But Adrian Patterson, fantastic tonight. 8 tackles. He was all over the place for most of the night. And on almost any other week, he probably would have won player of the game.
Yeah, one guy makes one big play, and that kind of set it up. And then he had some other moments as well. We've been asking for him to step up. And I won't say the name because we don't give it a full away, but people have to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, they have to. Ravens again fall 26-17, the final score. They drop to 0-2. They'll take on the Independence Pirates next Saturday night. Let's step away for 60 seconds. When we come back, we're naming our US 98 player of the game and putting a bow on this one. We'll be right back in 60 seconds on US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
From Derailed Commodity. Update your flooring with the area's largest selection of in-stock carpet, luxury vinyl plank, tile, area rugs, and more in many styles, brands, and colors. New furniture always brightens a home. We have a great selection of furniture, including sofa sets, recliners, and mattresses. Economy to premium, in stock and ready to brighten your home. Shop now at your local Derailed Commodity Flooring and Furniture, Brazelton in Independence, Kansas, and Joplin and Butler, Missouri.
This is Meat Mountain, and up there on the summit awaits the all-new Filet-O-Lay Steak Bowl from Taco Mayo. A heaping bowl filled with Mexican favorites and literally erupting with filet mignon. The Filet-O-Lay Steak Bowl can be yours if you make it past Chuck's Steak Canyon and the deadly sirloin abyss. Filet mignon beckons, my friend, on the meaty, mighty pinnacle of beefdom. The Filet-O-Lay Steak Bowl from Taco Mayo. Welcome to Meat Mountain.
Dodge City wins it 26-17. Our final. It's the Red Raven postgame show. Shane Neal, Matt Jordan alongside with you on US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network. Why not waste any time? Our US 98 player of the game tonight, and deservedly so, Jabari Tiller, 6 tackles, a sack, and a pick 6 late in the game that gave the Red Ravens life. It was not enough, but after a frustrating week 1 against Highland where he had a couple self-inflicted mistakes, Jabari Tiller was sensational tonight.
Yeah, it's good to see a guy like that bounce back. And, Tiller with the big interception, taking it back to the house. Had some other good plays, down some punts deep as well. Good bounce-back game from him. And back-to-back weeks for player of the game as a defensive player.
Absolutely. Final scoring tonight in this one. Gellender with a 31-yard field goal with 5:14 to go in the first quarter. Cameron Thomas had a 41-yard touchdown pass to put Dodge City on the board. Keith Liggins, a 29-yard touchdown pass from Jefferson as well. Joseph Young caught a 31-yard pass from Connor Oppo in the third quarter, but then Curria Powell, 59-yard pass from Jefferson. Jabari Tiller had the pick 6 early in the fourth, but Stone Wilson iced this one with a 19-yard touchdown run with 4:21 to go. Matt, all 3 touchdowns scored by Dodge through the air, 29, 41, 59.
Yeah, big plays. Jefferson was able to do that time and time again, and it was a big part. And, I mean, that's really the only mistakes the defense made, and a lot of that came because they were on the field a lot. So,
big thank you to our sponsors here tonight for allowing us to put this game on. Medical Lodge, Community State Bank, Coffeyville Community College, Windsor Place at Home Care, Gillum Liquor, Derailed Commodity, Taco Mayo, NDB of Coffeyville Regional Medical Center, and Roman Chevy. We have a lot to discuss about this Week 2 game against Dodge City, and of course getting ready for Indy. So great time to plug the Red Raven Coaches Show Wednesday nights, 6 o'clock. And you can come and hang out with us at Gigi's Burger Bar on 9th Street, downtown Coffeyville. A lot of fun there where we hang out with Coach Leiker and his staff, talk about the week that was, the week that's coming up, all that good stuff. And appreciate Gigi's making us the home of the Red Raven Coaches Show. For Matt Jordan to my right, you have any final thoughts?
My final thought
absolutely.
is unrelated to the game. I'm disappointed in you.
What did I do?
I snuck juxtaposition and cacophony into the broadcast tonight
in my
with
defense,
no reaction from you, along with unkindness.
I did hear unkindness.
Yeah, I pointed it out.
Yeah. I in my defense, and this is probably speaking on the level of performance that you put together, I did not hear you say cacophony.
Yeah, that happened in the pregame.
Juxtaposition, I should have caught, but
Cacophony, juxtaposition, and unkindness. I snuck them all into the broadcast.
Did you sneak cacophony into the pre-recorded interview?
No, I snuck it into the pregame.
Okay, I was gonna say if it was in a pre-recorded interview, that doesn't count.
I snuck it into your your keys to the game.
I respect that. Well, I'll be better next week.
Yeah, thanks.
Hopefully, Coffeyville will be better next week as well. For Matt Jordan to my right, big thank you to Stephanie Brees back in the studio helping us fly the plane tonight. Big thanks to Andrew Elrod for all he does as well. I'm Shane Neal saying so long from the Vet in Coffeyville on US 98 and the Red Raven Sports Network. We'll talk to you next Saturday.